And welcome to Old School.
Shut up, idiot. The 2024 Summer Summit is here, guys. For those that are unaware, we have a prediction here while Ayiza yaps on about how he's ruining my RNG in game. The 7th of September is yesterday, and this goes until March the 1st, and my predictions are completely wild. I think Raids 4 and Lazy is going to be down here. It definitely won't be on the board, and I'm not going to share any more information. We're just going to watch this shit and have a bit of fun. If you have any predictions, post it in the chat now.
First things first is that if you're not already in the Old School RuneScape Discord, then you need to join now. We have a bunch of giveaways, as Kieran's just mentioned, and the only
no one cares about the giveaways
is if you're part of the Old School RuneScape Discord and you react to the bot.
Oh, that's some good internet. Good video player. It's not my internet. I'm playing RuneScape. Fine.
Exclamation mark Discord right now to join and be part of it throughout the whole live stream.
I'll turn it up.
Going on, so make sure you stay tuned.
Let me know if it's too loud.
Why
or not
would
loud
you
enough.
join?
That's,
what are you
that's
going
as loud as
to
it can
win?
be, apparently.
Shall we have a look?
I think we should.
Let's do. So, we've got a lovely set of embroidered clothing. We are modelling some of it. Modash is modelling some of it on screen right now. Looks amazing. There's 5 cover variants for the first issue of the Untold...
It was like me too? Okay, cool.
There you go, first meta for the night.
At least it was you.
The Untold Tales of the God Wars comic.
Anyone seen any of these comic books? Are they any good?
Or even a cookbook. You might be familiar with it already, but this one is special. This one has been signed. We've just been signing it outside. It's also on display right next to us as well. Just imagine that on your bookshelf.
It looked pretty cool.
Is that British thing to say book over book?
Away. So make sure you stay tuned because who knows, you might just walk away with a
Let me know if anyone in the chat wins this shit, by the way.
Plus,
that'd be hype as fuck.
If you like the drum and bass tunes that were playing earlier, you can actually pre-order your very own vinyl containing all 11 tracks.
Well, only losers buy vinyl, but the album is good. It's on YouTube.
Now,
it's pretty
chat,
good.
can I get some jam emotes, perhaps? Maybe some cat jams in the chat, please?
Shut up.
Absolutely. All right, then. Let's get this party started. Go get your snacks.
You guys like 100 accents? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Settle in and get ready for a night of epic announcements and unforgettable
I do like the
moments.
blue for the vinyl.
It's time
that is
to hear
nice.
from the one and only Mod Pips, the Jagex CEO. The Old School RuneScape
Jagex
Summer
CEO.
Summit starts now.
Let's go.
And I'm delighted to welcome you to the
Good audio delay.
RuneScape Summer Summit. This evening, you will hear all about the game content the Old School team are conjuring up for you.
Is everyone else having
Beginning
this
with the second
issue, or is this just me?
Varlamore release, The Rising Darkness, launching very soon, through to the content coming early next year.
This is
Old
the
School
CEO.
RuneScape is enormously important to everyone here at Jagex. The JMods on the Old
Thank you,
School
Laptop,
game
for the
team
gift. I'm going to
show
actually
so
mute
much
alerts,
passion
if you don't
and
mind. Sorry, but thank you. Is this me doing this as well? It's their stream? Thank God.
energy and
I'm just making
creativity
potions.
to deliver for you, the community.
Oh man, this has gone nuts.
And they are in turn supported by the wider Jagex family, providing the tools and technology and expertise needed to run a global gaming service.
His beard is bad.
Jagex is here to make Old School RuneScape the best game and community that it can be. So as well as continuing to expand the Old School RuneScape team to give you even more great content, we'll continue to increase our efforts on other aspects of the service that we give you. Whether that be securing your hard-earned progress with Jagex accounts, upgrading the official game client, both on PC and mobile, and deploying new anti-cheating technology in the war against bots, we are determined to make your RuneScape experience even better.
What about
I wanted to say thank you for your continued support and passion, from showcasing the best of Old School to the wider gaming community with events like All Stars and Gillenor Games, to engaging with our blogs and streams, to voting in polls. It's this partnership with the players that makes Old School RuneScape so strong. We'd originally planned to be doing today's reveals in person with many of you at RuneFest. Instead, we look forward to seeing you
that was my internet that
next
time.
year. So in the meantime, please enjoy the 2024 Old School RuneScape Summer Summit.
That was my bad that time, sorry.
Ayiza and Kieran in the studio.
That was the kangaroos. Sorry, my bad. You didn't miss much. He basically said...
I bet you're all excited to see what's in...
While that idiot talks. You didn't miss much while the stream was down. All that he said was they're going to charge us more money for membership and they're not going to give us any extra support in terms of customer support. All right, Eric Expansion. Okay, so this is Varlamore Part 2.
Through, but there are obviously some items on here that were already semi-revealed. If you've been keeping a keen eye on socials, then you've seen that we've talked about Varlamore.
Okay, so Varlamore Part 2, the Rising Darkness, that is Part 2. Okay, good. We had that marked on here, actually, as a potential Part 2. So that's a fucking green tick for us, boys. Hell yeah. Island of the herbal activity, basically. The new mountain boss, new quest. We've got sailing with the first new skill. No one cares about that shit. And then we've got a HD API down below, which we're aware of.
We will be talking about a little bit in here, but wanted to just let you know that we already know that you know about it. So the reason why it's already revealed is because of that reason right there. That's
cool that's
now,
part 2. Awesome.
I think, given the fact that Varlamore Rising Darkness is on there, let's find out a little bit more around the
That's 3 weeks away.
Update.
Hello?
Varlamore, the Rising Darkness.
Okay.
Roll the tape.
Let's have a look. Good luck.
Itzla, my son.
Okay, so they're Muslim.
I always hoped that you would not have to live through such
New Blade of
times.
Saldor?
Our shining kingdom is now tarnished. On Aldarin, the shadows gather.
This isn't me, this is them lagging again. Twitch's video player is so
Even among
shit.
our brightest stars. And as we enjoy our time in the sun, the Twilight emissaries seek the final dawn. The people look to you to protect them.
I get some
I pray their faith in you.
I get some Troy
My
vibes from
faith
this.
in you.
You know?
Is
Other than the
not
lag.
unfounded.
That looks dope.
Ancient threats are taking root. It is time to take responsibility. Your allies are strong. You must learn to trust in them for all our sakes.
Oh, it's the whole Hell
For
yeah.
only together can you stop. The rising darkness.
Do you reckon we're gonna lag through the whole fucking video? Dude, September 25th is good. That's 3 weeks away. That's mad. I'm keen for that. New agility outfit. Looked like it, yeah. It must be, maybe it's a graceful reskin.
Varlamore Part 2 has a name, and that name is the Rising Darkness.
Put a bit of love into it, mate. Come on.
Why is Part 2 called the Rising Darkness?
I wish Mod Ed was here to answer that.
You got his phone number?
God, I wish I did.
This guy's fucking pissed in his pants, dude.
Varlamore 1 was received really well.
It was fun to see everyone just run around and go everywhere all at once.
The little frog quest, players loved that. I loved that. That was a great little addition.
We did a different take on thieving, more AFK, which was a bit sort of experimental, but it seemed like players really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed.
This is terrible.
Seeing everyone struggle with the Colosseum and fail repeatedly.
No one completed it on the first day. That was kind of a special moment
Seems
for
like
us.
everyone's
There
lagging.
was things that we didn't really know how people would take. One of those is probably the capybaras. People love those capybaras. Well, can I curse?
In Varlamore the Rising Darkness, the tone shifts a bit from Part 1. It gets a little bit dark, a bit more gritty. You're going to dig
Reduce the
more
HD
into
quality?
the underlying going-ons of...
Yeah, let's go to 720, see if that fixes anything. This is
great.
not my internet.
If you don't like the wine,
I'm
you can
fine
run
over
off
here.
to the Hailstorm Mountains where you'll meet a group boss encounter that you can do with your friends, which is fairly accessible for mid-level players.
It's a big boy.
What's the boss's name?
Huey Kotal.
Huey Coatl.
Huey Kotal.
Huey.
The boss is called the Hui Quack, but we just call it Huey. It's
They
a
must
big
watch
boss.
my content. They pronounce it like me. 480p? Really? This is crazy on 720p.
And has grown massive in size, almost becoming
This
one
is
with the
nuts.
mountain.
Are they streaming this on YouTube instead? Please tell me they are.
It's a lady dragon.
It is the Lady Dragon,
Wow.
And it's starting to cause a bit of problem to the dwarves and surrounding areas.
and it is now the player's job to help put this massive snake to rest again.
So the boss can be fought in a group of up to 20 players. It is possible to do it solo, but there are
They're
a
not
couple of
multi-streaming.
mechanics that definitely benefit from a group. Rewards from the group boss, there will be the Tome of Earth, there's the new Dragon Hunter wand, there's the new range set, and there's also a pet and a new seed
Panic
for
by
growing
Lance,
herbs,
yep.
which will be used to create the prayer regeneration potion.
Oh, I forgot about that potion. Prayer regen.
Mod Other's been working on the new murder mystery quest in Aldarin, and she's done a great job of making this really intricate storyline. with some cool little puzzles and a bit of deduction to figure out who did it.
You can head over to the manor where the murder...
Looking forward to the quest helper for solving that one for me.
The murder. There's a lot of potential murderers in the murder mystery quest. I had a lot of fun creating suspicious NPCs. You add mysterious glasses to a dog, suspicious, straight away. Give someone a peg leg, how did that happen? Dunno, suspicious. Too much jewelry, super suspicious. Where did they get that? There's so many ways to make someone suspicious. There's a lot of fun that happens in that quest that is just like, I don't know how to say that without giving too much away.
Are you aware that there is a dog with fake...
I feel like I've never heard anyone swear
in
a stream or anything.
By completing the murder mystery quest, you get access to the butler outfit with different variants of masks you can wear. With that comes a tray and a glass, which makes you stand like a butler, which I think is pretty cool.
Connor loves that. No, the fuck she is, dude.
Mastering mixology is also a new activity in the Rising Darkness. Here you'll be able to use your unused herbs to get some cool new potions, and also some awesome unique rewards the ModMac has designed.
The first is the pre-pot device. This allows the player to load up to 5 potions into the device.
Just keep chugging those potions.
The player can configure which potions trigger in which order, as well as setting loadouts for different situations. Secondly, we have potion storage, which is a new area of the bank which lets you store all of your potions and unfinished
that's a load of shit. I mean, I love it, but it's such a coke fucking update.
Potion, the goading potion. When drank, this potion will cause all monsters around you in a large area to become aggressive.
This guy would be huge in the Lego movie.
The potion is a reward from Huey Cottle and causes your prayer to restore over time instead of instantly. Think. The Alchemist Goggles provide you with a chance to save your secondary ingredients when you use them. We also have an Alchemist Cosmetics set, which allows you to fashionscape as you herblore. Lastly, we have the Secondaries pouch, which provides a dedicated storage space for secondary ingredients.
There would be square, that's it, dude.
Higher up in the mountains, you'll find the storyline quest continuing called The Heart of Darkness.
Together with Itzla, you'll be exploring, finding new things, defeating foes, and uncovering secrets that the
Ice Giant boss
left behind.
Surely.
As you get deep into the quest, you and Itzla will explore the Tapioc ruins left there by the Old Ones. There is a final boss of this quest, but we're going to keep the details close to our chest and let you uncover them on day of release.
The red tokens aren't relevant to Varlamore Part 2.
Agility.
Grapes.
Agility.
So the new agility activity is a low-intensity activity that takes place on the remains of a giant worm. It's aimed at sort of mid to high-level agility, I think.
And from it, you'll get the Varlamorean version of the graceful outfit, if you're good enough and cool enough to get it.
I think some things that players will look forward to in the Rising Darkness is just the exploration. The new areas, all the cool new NPCs to chat to, it's all part of making the world feel so put together.
Who are some of your favourite new NPCs within the Rising Darkness and why?
Huey Quattle, if you count her as like an NPC, which technically she is, she's definitely my favourite.
My favourite new NPC is Clive. He resides on the top floor of the Alchemical Society and he's been banished there for making forbidden potions after hours.
My man.
Peggy 16.
My second contender for the favourite is probably the Moon Fanatic, which I'm not going to say anything else for. Just find him.
I also really like the vineyard workers. They're working very hard, carrying grapes all day. My grapes.
The Rising Darkness has been an astronomical effort across the team.
There's just a lot of interesting things to explore through the passion that came into this project from all of us together.
My favourite part was creating the grapes.
Lots of
dude, more grape farming?
Can't wait for you to see what it has in store when it releases.
I went to a vineyard in preparation for this.
Okay, bit of a trauma dump there by old mate at the end, but we'll take it. Cheers, mate. Thanks for sharing that.
Just love grapes. Ah, sorry. Well, there it is. Varlamore, The Rising Darkness, our latest content expansion, and it looks so exciting. There's a little bit of something for everyone. New skilling activities, new quests, and even a group PVM boss. Insane.
So much content.
Right.
It's looking
Looks
amazing.
good.
But
that's not why we're watching this shit.
ModMac. One of our game designers who's worked on Varlamore. You just saw him in the video. ModMac, welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Yeah, buzzing to be here.
Cool chairs.
Like 20 dumplings, so I'm ready for a nap. Yeah.
I thought it was like, I'm doing great, and I swear I heard I'm doing grape.
There is lots of grapes around. You can have an apple as well. There's apples available.
Yeah, they're set looking.
Those
fantastic.
are not real fucking apples.
Mac, there's a lot
Apples
of
never
content
look that
to
good.
unpack here. No cap. Thankfully,
That's some Snow White
we've
shit.
got some time to ask you a plethora of questions to help unpick what this epic endeavor entails. So, Kieran, please.
Yeah. Well, obviously we've now seen a good lot of content on what's coming with the Rising Darkness. Full name now, exciting. But what are you personally looking forward to most?
Mod Fatboy, don't talk shit about Mod Kieran. He's a fucking G dude. He's the guy that made fucking
I think it's sat in a really cool place.
Hopefully the extra membership money makes the internet better at JXHQ because they got some Mac's Wi-Fi shit going on.
Fighting alongside these dwarves. So you've got like you, your buddies, and the dwarves, and you all kind of rush into fight together. It just feels good. The artwork for it is popping off. Got some cool new mechanics going on. It's in a spot where you need to work as a team if you want to really min-max it, but you're perfectly fine to run with randoms just to farm it, which is cool. And the loop itself is really addictive. The map is kind of laid out as a loop, and you finish one run, and you kind of get to the end, and you're like, the start's right there. I could just one more.
One more.
I think it's really nice to get some sort of mid-level group content into the game, and
sure, yeah.
It's truly going to be something you can do with your like higher level friends if you're a newbie, a more casual player. So I like that.
I really love it. It's something that we know that players have always asked for as well, is more group content, more accessible content. So to be able to have that mix in there. Do you think that there's any part of the
next time? Yeah, sure, they can go to the triple or the quad.
A little bit on the higher level, that more end game, or is it very much focused more towards mid game players, do you think?
There's definitely room in there to perfect it.
Yeah,
and I think that will.
This might be a hot take. I know that some people might care about what they're saying here, but this might be a hot take. I just kind of want them to hurry the fuck up and move on. Like, what's coming next? I don't care. I don't need interviews on what's going to happen in Varlamore Part 2 because we're going to live stream it day one and it's going to be theory crafted and meted in like fucking 30 minutes. I just want to know what the fuck's next on the list. So, excuse me if I talk halfway through their shit. I really do not care.
The herbal activity.
I get that they're trying to like drag it out and answer
scary
questions.
Adding a new herbal thing because we haven't really done anything of that scale.
No one cares about the lore.
So me and Halo spent quite a long time in spreadsheet hell trying to figure that one out. But it's in a good spot now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really excited to see that. And the pre-pot device specifically, I am very excited for. Obviously, you mentioned grapes quite a lot. You seem quite excited about the vineyard in general. Why are you so passionate about this vineyard?
Did you see the trailer?
Dragon Hunter Lance up 6 mil already. Classic.
I mean, look at us. We're in paradise.
We are, absolutely are.
We are in paradise. You mentioned, content that people could maybe find in the next 2 to 3 years. I feel like there's already been a pretty long journey going on to find content. Can you tell us where the final red token is?
I'd love to. I genuinely don't know where it is. As far as I know, there's only 2 people on the planet who really know how to find that token. And I'm not one of them.
Well, I tried, chat. I'm sorry. You're going to have to keep
Nearly got him.
Keep on investigating.
I will say, while the red tokens are concluded with part 1, the mischief might not be entirely.
Ooh. So. Okay, exciting.
Interesting. You better not be another set of coloured tokens, I tell you. Just for confirmation then, when can people play Varlamore?
So the 25th
of September, man,
is when it comes out.
That is so soon. It's literally just a matter of weeks away now. Are you nervous?
Nervous and excited.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk about the mobile rework yet? No.
What are you most looking forward to?
I don't know if
the
they
content
will.
Release. Was it, you said the boss, right?
Group boss.
Yeah. And in terms of the rewards, are there any standout rewards that you think are going to be like absolute must-have go-to items?
Dragon Hunter Lance.
I think the pre-pot device will be interesting to see how people
are panic buying that. Don't panic buy it.
Because you have to use it at the bank. I think it'll be interesting to see how people figure out uses for that. And the wand as well from Huey Cottle is looking quite exciting.
Maybe we'll get an actual magic potion after relying on the heart through this.
No. Well, I mean, we haven't released the wand in ages.
But you won't get anything better than the imbued heart because that's the point of the imbued heart.
We tried with Tombs of Massacre, it got replaced by their shadow. So nice to see some extra variety coming in, which is really awesome.
Yeah, well, I think we should call this little chat there. If you do want to know more about Varlamore, the Rising Darkness, ! Rising Darkness in the chat, and you'll
they're nothing compared to the heart, man.
On the blog.
Saturated heart, like they're not going to replace that.
Joining us, ModMac. It's all time for our first giveaway, so I do hope you've all managed to join us in the Old School official RuneScape Discord server, because it's just about to start.
It is indeed. And our very first giveaway is for a piece of embroidered clothing.
That bullshit, guys. If you do win a giveaway, let me know, because I'd like to see what sort of shit they're actually giving away. I doubt anyone here will win it, though. Let's be honest, you all fucking suck. Speaking of sucking, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. You won't get adverts here on the stream. And yeah.
There's a whole range in various styles and sizes, from premium tees to check/cord shirts and even chunky knit beanies.
They're going to plug their shit, I may as well plug mine, right?
3 t-shirts, 2 shirts and the beanie. And I
will
personally vouch for the fact that they are the highest quality pieces of clothing that I've ever bought. Genuinely super comfortable, and I'm not shilling it just for the sake of it.
I'm excited to see what the big square in the middle is over here.
Yeah, they
I don't know what this is here.
But if you're not feeling lucky tonight, just remember that you can purchase these directly as well from our merch store, and you can find out.
Anyways, while they plug that shit, yeah, the subscribe button down below, guys. And also, let me know what you're doing in game if you've changed your activity. I'm actually thieving now. I've done I finished doing my prayer potions. We're now here trying to finish getting crystal shards to corrupt the Bofa. About 1,200 shards away. So, what, 4 pulls on the enhanced crystal teleport table? Then we're good. That's what I'm doing.
This one, it's time to hear more about the official Oldschool client with updates on Oldschool HD, as well as more exciting news for mobile.
All right, here we go. There's your mobile update. Here we go.
Not too long ago, we gave you an update on our progress to improvements we're making to the official client. As promised, we're back to give you some more on the plugin API, HD, and mobile. We're still working on all the features we mentioned in our previous update, but we've got exciting things to showcase this summit. So let's not leave you waiting any longer and jump straight into Mod West talking about HD.
Is this part of the HD and API shit
As we
here?
mentioned in our last update, the team has been actively participating in a HD internal alpha. The insights gained so far have been invaluable, and we'll be continuing this work over the next few months. While the rest of the team has been testing HD, we've also entered some crucial stages of development. We are now in the final phase of lighting tools, which will enable us to add customized lighting to each biome in the game world. This will allow us to craft the ideal ambience and tone for the internal alpha.
See, I don't care too much about that sort of shit. I get it's really nice, and it's great for screenshots when doing like thumbnails and video content where you need like a nice scene.
Used to support HD.
Why is it so laggy? It seems to only be laggy when they're playing these videos on their end of the stream. So I don't know.
Improving navigation by extending the visual distance and eliminating loading lines and map transition hitches. Our goal is to improve the overall sailing gameplay experience while also deepening immersion. Speaking of immersion, water is one of the core features, especially with the upcoming sailing update. The team has done an incredible job building the incline water system and refining the final tools needed to achieve high quality water within the client. Although this is primarily a HD.
It's a shame that the video can't even run in HD while talking about HD. We're at 480p. This is nuts.
Feature, sailing has prompted us to explore improvements to the SD water as well, especially since it was highlighted during the sailing player consultation. We've made significant progress in developing our water technology, but there's still more work to be done.
As long as the game performance vibe doesn't suffer.
Its importance, so your experience of sailing the vast seas of Gillinor can look as stunning as it feels. Finally, we're continuing our efforts to optimize.
Don't run that close to the Dark Wizards, dude. You get fucked up.
Modes, something that is crucial we get right.
Use the footpath.
Our tests so far have shown improved performances across many of the devices we've tested, especially when it comes to PC and Mac. We've seen performance improvements on both SD and HD. Mobile is also seeing improvements across the board, but given the wide range of devices available, this process takes time. While we are confident that most players will see a performance boost when switching from the current renderer to our new SD mode, we want to ensure we are doing all we can.
Good.
So, we want to give you some further transparency. Our next update for HD will be in early 2025, once we are confident with the performance and optimization.
January HD, boys.
Once that time comes, we'll aim to get it into your hands in some form not long afterwards, so you can experience it for yourself.
If that includes the API plugin, it could mean a lot of people transitioning from Moonlight if it performs better.
And we are looking forward to sharing more information on our HD initiatives, along with our progress on HD support for sailing in the future. That's all we've got for now, but let's see what's going on with the plugin API.
Okay, here we go. This is it.
It's only been 2 months since our last update, but we've made some significant progress in development. One of the biggest is that the plugin API will soon be in the hands of various members of the community.
Defining jawline, I love it. Yeah, he fucks big time.
The hope is that by giving them early access,
he fucks and he doesn't break eye contact.
Not only be able to identify any key issues, but also give them a chance to build beloved plugins that you know and love to be available on launch. Speaking of those plugins, we've made some great steps towards implementing the play-facing aspects of the API into the client. And we've also built some tester plugins to show off its capabilities.
That's cool.
Before then, there's some fundamental security measures we need to put in place so that we can
anything from RuneLite that you use will come to the
with
new client.
This is so that the plugins they work on don't suddenly appear.
Like, this new client is going to perform better than RuneLite.
It's also crucial for us to put measures in place so that we don't open more avenues for those naughty bot makers out there. And swinging back around to performance, we've had some very positive results so far regarding PC and some mobile usage of
You know this guy's a Chad because he's wearing that shirt and he hasn't got any underarm sweat.
You can't live without.
That's a rare fucking sight, man.
The official launch of the API
that is a rare fucking thing. You boys know what I'm talking about.
To enhance your gameplay.
Man has 0 underarm sweat. That guy's a G.
Let's talk a bit about mobile. In October, we'll be celebrating the 6th anniversary of OSRS on mobile, and we are ready to celebrate. To start, we're beginning with the next mobile saga on October 9th, as we'll launch the new mobile UI. It's been a long journey, and we really appreciate all of your time, patience, and feedback.
Servers are the same, everything but cooler because it's at night. I think that's what
like tile markers
this HD
NPC highlights
plugin's going to bring. You can have day and night cycles.
High scores as one of the newest features.
Like,
so
you can
to recap,
safely assume
October 9th we'll have the following new features coming to mobile. The new mobile UI, high scores, tile markers, and NPC highlights, with more to come in the future. Sorry guys, who is reordering my menu?
Talk about the other feature.
Of course, how could I forget? We're also excited to announce that alongside these changes, Menu Entry Swapper is coming to mobile.
Oh, thank fucking
and
God.
The official client.
I hate
with features such as agility highlights, ground items, and clue scroll helper already available on mobile. All the new additions will bring the mobile gameplay more in line with your desktop experience. Pickpocketing those pesky Vyres will be a breeze. And maybe, just maybe, those of you dying at Kuras can finally complete that Slayer task. We'll be launching a video and a news post to get everyone up to speed with everything we've done to mobile over the last 6 years. Whether you haven't tried mobile yet, or you don't play as much, this might be the time to finally hop back and try the newest mobile experience. As always, you can get all the information we shared in this video in the new...
Okay, I know where this is going. So, I think just on this announcement alone, which is big for the HD and API stuff, this is like not the beginning of the end for RuneLite, but like if this new client, like they're going to have everything on RuneLite is going to be on this new client, and I bet on launch, like 80% of the RuneLite plugins that people actively use are going to be on this new client. If it performs better and looks better, 100% you're switching over. Why wouldn't you? If it uses less fucking processing power on your PC, if it just runs smoother, you have a better draw distance than what RuneLite allows. Why the fuck wouldn't you? You know, still going to have bugs. The game has bugs even now. Like that doesn't matter. They iron that shit out. My boy's in.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Let's go.
Great, fantastic.
Awesome. Doing well. I'm glad to be here, surrounded by this beautiful scenery with lovely company and a wonderful chat.
Yeah.
Like it won't take much.
This is really cheap.
There has been a huge amount of excitement during that reveal just there. We were seeing chat, you were watching you all pog off, especially
yeah, HD 117 was kind of dog shit,
updates. Huge amount of extra
performance-wise, at least I didn't like it.
Come into there, but Genghis, I'm curious to hear from yourself. What are you most excited for out of everything that was showcased?
Look, it's tricky because I like everything on there, and I think we're doing a lot of great work. But if I had to pick, mobile for me is the most exciting. I think the stuff we're doing with the interface rework that's coming out, I think is going to impress a lot of players on both ends of the spectrum. We got the hardcore players that agreed with us, but also the more casual and everything in between. And I'm just very excited.
I like they're giving mobile love. That's big.
The tools that we've added that Sarni mentioned in the video just now, I think there's a lot to look forward to. So if I had to pick, definitely mobile.
It is really cool, especially some of the plug-in features coming to mobile.
About the autism spectrum, that's the entire playbase.
On desktop, but getting them finally in your hands on mobile, just so nice. How have you actually found working with the plug-in developers so far? Like, how have they responded to the idea of us developing our own plugin system?
Well, the plugin developers have been fantastic. We've been having, for the past 2 weeks, loads of like hour-long calls with like Gnome, Stone Turtle, AWST, Zoinkwiz, just the whole roster. Sorry if I missed out any of you guys, but they've been a host of information for everything. And we've been really able to learn kind of what are they looking for in an API, what are the steps that they need to kind of accomplish what they want to build. And yeah, we just want to build with them alongside them. So that's the goal, is just to keep talking and get that development in early.
I think it's really awesome incorporating them from literally the beginning of the project's inception, because as you mentioned, it really means that when it is ready for the full launch, everything should be there for them to just steamroll straight ahead with building plugins. And
so it looks like what they're going to do is this beta in early 2025, sorry, January, February. And then from there, we should just get like a full launch with pretty much everything we need from the... Oh yeah, I just got some fucking teleport crystals, by the way, boys. I'll take a quick GZ in the chat, why not? Let's fucking go. If you can't GZ, the sub button down below will let you. Hell yeah. It's fucking massive. 3 more rolls and we're done.
There's the client itself, which has native features that we need to add out of box that will be included for any player coming in.
GZ.
And then there's the plugin browser, and the plugins being created by external developers, and that's another product.
Thank you.
Which is
appreciate it.
All the plugins there. So kind of 2 things at the same time, but we're very much focused right now with the plugin developers and making sure that they're ready to hit the ground running.
At the end of the day, they're the experts. I mean, they've been doing it already. It's sensible to learn from them. Going back to HD a second, you mentioned something called world streaming. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, world streaming is just being able to see much further down the map. And so if you play the official client, you might see sometimes that there's this black space at the back of the game while you're running through. And we want to be able to fix that, because I think the guys at RuneLite did a really good job at doing that. And so we're taking a bit more time in resolving that. And it's not as easy as we think. They had an ingenious solution for it, and we're looking for ours too.
Awesome. And so what's next for HD development in general?
It's not that sexy, but we're looking to increase performance across all devices. So like the game can look great, but if we can't run it on all the devices the way we want it to, then what's the point of having it?
Exactly.
So
my man.
We're going to look at performance first, and
That's
then
a J-mob with a
there's a lot of work
brain
to
right
make
there.
sure sailing looks great. And so we want to just take our time, make sure performance is good, that sailing is covered, and then you guys have seen the screenshots and all the stuff we've been doing with kind of...
He's actually looking for performance. Hell yeah.
It does look incredible.
Even just like
he does premarital sex for sure.
Concepts of
hell yeah, he does.
And the different water textures that are on there that were showcased just in the video alone, I thought looked absolutely amazing.
That's an attitude of a man.
Final product, yeah.
The only thing he leaves hanging out is the fucking nuts, dude. That's it.
Different, but it's still so
he's just got the nuts just hanging there. That is it.
But it's not
everything else is
revamping.
in.
It is just modernising, updating, and still having that true old school feel. I think the art team have done a great job of making sure they capture that moving forward. I want to talk just quickly back on the plugin side of things, and that is, I'm curious to understand what the process would look like when it comes to community plugin contribution. Obviously, this is going to be much further down the line when we don't have the developers we're working with now, but the general public, just like on RuneLite, where they can contribute to the plugin hub. What would that look like for the general player? And I guess to add on to that as well, what are we going to do to ensure that bad plugins don't make it into the game?
Well, it's a good question, and it's still very early days in terms of how we want to structure this. But we're working with our partners at mod.io, and they're known for hosting kind of plugin infrastructure for other games. And so when it comes to the security aspect of it, we're going to make sure that kind of plugins coming through, that we can check them. We have some auto checks enabled to just scan through all the code very efficiently. But in terms of making it accessible to all players, we want to create a community. There's a lot of ideas.
This video player is fucking shocking.
Kind of what it's named. I don't want to tease it now, but it's been named by Mod Ash, so that's really cool. Like
awesome.
we have a cool name for how the guild will be called, and that's a spoiler, I guess. And yeah, there's not much I can't reveal right now because we've been working so much with the plugin developers that the community aspect is still being refined, and we're working with them to figure out the best way.
That's fair. I mean, if nothing else, it's good to know that it's something that's being kept in mind.
Absolutely,
that will be worked on in the future.
And the other thing, obviously, we mentioned is the changes to the mobile UI itself. A complete, fresh, new lick of paint. It looks very different compared to how it was. So, what's the biggest benefit that players are going to find when they use it?
Well, for kind of a lot of the players, it's going to be menu entry swapper and like those extra tools and refining them. And we've worked really hard to make sure that that works well. And in terms of just the more kind of, I would say, hardcore or just more avid audience using the mobile client, we've added a second side stone, and we've just made things more, if you're doing some intense activities, you'll be able to kind of play the game in a more efficient way. I think a lot of our feedback testing was that the right thumb was getting exhausted,
And there was just a lot of stuff we could have addressed. And so when it came to the interface update, we had these
Who the
ideas
fuck
for this
complains
kind
that
of
my right thumb's
kind of
getting
hardcore
exhausted
to the
on
right end
mobile
of the
game?
spectrum audience.
How
And we
fucking
just wanted
hard
to
are
make
you
sure,
clicking?
okay, how do kind of the more casual players enjoy it? And so
yeah, they do waffle a bit here, right? It'd be good if they hurry the fuck up.
I invite everyone to try out mobile. I think you'll be very surprised.
There won't be a tip of Rage 4 unless it's that last tile down here.
Improvements to chat.
That
might
I have
be
a
Rage
whole
4.
document
There's no way
about
Rage
that.
4
We're getting to that. It's not easy because then every phone's different. There's so many things to do when it comes to mobile, but we'll get to that.
What's the bad they talk about sailing next though? Oh god.
On a device.
I can't hope
not everything's finished. There's obviously loads more stuff we'd love to do in future as well, and one day I'm sure we'll also
there's a lot coming.
Get to that. Is there anything else you want to tell the community while you're on the stream?
I just wanted to thank everyone that kind of gave us feedback and kind of had calls with myself or Sardi. You guys have been tremendous work, tremendous help, and we were able to really get a lot of good information. And just we want to build this alongside you guys. So really thank you, and you might see more polls or surveys coming up asking for help, asking for interviews, so please jump on that. You might be speaking to myself.
Man, this is fucking terrible, this video player.
Thanks again, and really appreciate the help.
I appreciate you coming on. If you want to know more about what's going on,
I've never had issues like this before.
Client for all things HD and API to check out the blog.
Please don't give us
so much for joining us, Mud Genghis. It's been a pleasure.
Give us something new.
Now, before we do move on to the next video, it's time for a winner announcement for that first giveaway.
Good luck to anyone winning if they're in my chat.
The clothing is Eric S. John 11.
All right, you've been doxed. Is that one of you guys in the chat?
I can't really clap very well because this iPad is literally bigger.
Put the iPad down, dickhead.
Yeah,
clap
everything
properly.
I own. So, but congratulations, a huge congratulations, Eric, and commiserations to anyone who didn't manage.
Jeezy,
to
I'm getting
tonight.
doxed.
But
Congratulations.
If you do want that Skibbity Riz, type X.
Now, while they plug all their bullshit, I'm just going to remind you guys to hit the like button and subscribe down below because that's just what I do. I ain't giving away shit, although I will be re-rolling one of those giveaways from the subathon soon because someone still doesn't claim their mouse. So that'll be happening at some point. And has anyone changed their activity in Oldschool RuneScape? Because I'm still thieving, but I'm glad to have gotten a fucking teleport state drop. That's fucking massive. What do we think they're going to announce next? I hope it's not sailing. I think now that it's not going to be Varlamore, I hope the next announcement is some sort of possibly a quest. I think there's going to be some sort of like light quest line expansion next on the board. I think it might be something maybe penguin related, hopefully. It could be that sea slug thing in this tile. I don't know. I really don't know what this big square is going to be. But I'm hoping that this is the next tile they talk about. I mean, if they do sailing next, then at least they're getting it out of the fucking way. But we're about to find out in about 30 seconds, I hope. Dragon Slayer 3 won't be happening. Not here, at least, anyway. Could be a Cold War thing. Here we go. Wait, a world boss.
Right, now though, it is time for our next reveal of the night. So take it away. Let's watch the video.
Hell yeah, Nate, the spicy bombs. Let's go.
Risk and reward, the two concepts that have been a part of the wilderness since its inception. The more you're willing to lose, the greater your spoils become.
Wilderness
May the
expansion?
stakes now be made even greater with Oldschool RuneScape's first world boss, Wrathmaw. This monstrously large foe will sport an enormous health pool in the tens of thousands and will have a chance to spawn almost anywhere in the wilderness. This includes singles as well as multi. The boss being in singles will act like the Deadman mode breaches where multiple people can attack the boss at the same time. This will give options to players who would rather kill the boss in singles or would prefer things a little more hectic in multi. The amount of times per day this boss can spawn will be limited to 3 times on 5 worlds. The mechanics of the Wrathmaw are not set in stone yet, but you can expect the attacks to be well telegraphed and easy to avoid. Looking into rewards, Wrathmaw has a participation-based system with 4 tiers. Dealing more damage to the boss puts you at a higher tier, increasing your reward. That reward will be the Teeth of Wrathmaw. The amount of teeth received is 1 for low participation, 4 for medium, 10 for high, and 20 teeth will go to the MVP. These teeth have 3 purposes: the ability to amplify certain items, being sold in the shop for uniques, and the option to turn them into Revenant Ether. If you choose to turn your teeth into Ether, it will be around 2,000 Ether per tooth.
Jesus
now let's
Christ.
talk about some of the things you can buy from the shop with these teeth. The
2,000 per
Amulet
tooth.
of Wrath. This amulet costs 1 tooth and is fairly straightforward, giving the stats of an Amulet of Glory while also having a 15% damage boost to the boss itself. Additionally, you'll be able to use the check option on the amulet to see where the boss's location is if one is active in the world.
There'll be a plugin
To charge the
doing that
amulet,
anyway
you need to
at some
insert
point.
5,000 Revenant
That's a
Ether
dead mechanic.
inside to make it work. In PvP, the amulet is always lost on death, with 3,750 of the Ether going to the PKer and 1,250 Ether disappearing.
Okay.
There's also going to be a new teleport tablet in this shop. These
Okay.
Teleports cost 1 tooth for 5 tabs and give the special ability to tele anywhere in the wilderness. Yes, even beyond 30 wild.
That's cool.
However, you'll need to have been out of any form of combat for 20 seconds, and the animation for this teleport is about 5 seconds long, so if it gets interrupted, you'll be out of luck. Finally, before the big rewards, let's go over the Blighted Saradomin Bruise. I personally have always held the opinion that the only time you should be losing money in the wildy is if you die, not from the use of supplies. Blighted items in the past have helped greatly with this.
Yep.
And so the Blighted Brews are here to keep that trend going. Let's get into the amplifiers. The teeth have powerful energy, with 1,000 of them being used to make an amplifier that combines 2 of the same weapon, giving them a special effect. There are 3 weapons that will be eligible for this amplifier. The Armadale Godsword special attack will go from double to triple accuracy. The Dark Bow gains an increased attack speed as well as losing its max hit cap, and the accuracy of the Volatile Nightmare Staff spec goes from 50% to 150%. Other notable amplifications would be the combination of the Tome of Fire and the Mage's Book to give a hybrid version that gives 18 mage accuracy, 2 mage damage, as well as the Tome of Fire elemental boost. There's also the Trinity Ward, a Malediction Ward, Odium Ward, and whatever this thing's called, all combined together to make a formidable item for tribe ridding. Well, that just about does it for everything on the Wildy World Boss. As always, my name's Poison Potion, or PP for short, and you'll probably be seeing me at the Rathmore.
Dude, 5-tick AGS.
For your health to deplete.
It also said 1 tick off the AGS attack speed.
And end your life. Never.
2 to 3 times accuracy in the AGS, plus 1 tick fucking faster on the AGS. That is big. Voting no, of course you would, Axel, coward.
Firstly, a huge thank you.
Is that usable outside of the wilderness, though?
Wonderful explainer. I think it's always amazing to be able to involve our very members of our community.
There's your wildy expansion.
All of these videos, and there's a bunch more.
We put it in this half, but
Rathmore's a real first for us, and unlike anything we've really ever tried in the main game before, which is really exciting. But there's a lot to unpack. So, Ayiza, where do we start?
Well, luckily we're not alone, as we are joined by the amazing mods Manked and Daizong, who will both be here to help us unpick the nitty-gritty. I'm super excited for us to be trying something like Rathmore. A world boss is pretty bad.
Obligated to do wildy boss is fucking retarded.
Also a great place for it.
Is it retarded that you're obligated to do the wildy boss? No, because you're not actually obligated to do it. I'd imagine the teeth will be tradable. I would assume so. Maybe not. 1,000 teeth is a lot, though. So it probably will be tradable. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. There's no items there are meta breaking, right? I mean, maybe with the attack speed increase, but I don't know if it's wildy only. If it's outside of the wildy, then maybe. But that's all those items are to help you in the wilderness, right? So you don't need to... you're not going to be locked out of content. Not 1,000 teeth each. It's 1,000. Each tooth is 1,000 choices. Oh shit! Okay, my mistake. I misunderstood that. Okay. AGS won't buy for 14 mil. No. Don't try to play the market when they do these videos and there's announcements and it's like this item's going to get buffed. Stop trying to play the market. You're just going to lose money. You're going to get fucked. Stop trying to panic buy. You don't panic buy. Panic buy loses money. Panic selling loses money. Don't buy it and sell on the panics. Just chill out. You know. I think. I think it's not, there's no like obligation to do wildy content because of this. It's 1,000 teeth for the enhanced weapons. That's what I thought he said. Well, 1,000 teeth and you can enhance one of the weapons, right? Wildy boss doesn't seem like a PvP event. If you do it in singles, you're not going to have a problem, right? Because if it's in singles and there's like 40 people on the boss, only one player can attack you. If it's singles plus even, right? So there's no problem. Like if you have an AGS, now's the time to sell it, yes. But there's no need to like panic buy because you're not going to make money panic buying. That's why it's called panic buying. Can you shut the fuck up so we can listen? You want to listen to this garbage?
With all that said about rewards, we're obviously taking quite a different approach to rewards compared to what we do in most boss encounters.
You want to hear fucking Money or waffle on?
Mank to run us through what separates Rathmore from most of the other wilderness content we've done recently, especially with respect
PvP-wise, it's good content.
Yeah, so we completely understand that there are a lot of players that, you know, they don't necessarily enjoy PvP, they don't want to be part of that food chain. So we've really tried to cater these rewards to PvPers. So the only people that are engaging in this content will be PvPers.
There you go.
You know, in a player's journey, you're not going to be missing out if you don't do this content. So
that's exactly what
you're not necessarily thinking, oh, I need to go do this piece of content, you know, to progress my account.
So there's no need to be upset by it.
You can literally just skip it. You can let the PvPers go have some fun. And to be honest, you can just let it go to do whatever you want in the wilderness while it's active and the box is around. And
there's less people trying to kill you at the Calvarion because they're trying to kill people at the big worm.
Specific worlds. We're going to have no alka balls. If we can get these rewards to pass, I'm hoping they'll maintain good value long term. So, you know, bad things such as bots aren't going to be.
Why vote no to the worldie? Because you don't like PvP. If you let this into the game, if you vote yes, you're going to have less people trying to kill you in rev caves and singles plus bosses.
As a result of requiring
there's more distractions.
Weapons.
This is a dub for everyone. If this passes.
You know, we'll get rid of items out of the game. So if you're doing PVM and you're doing Slayer and you're trying to get you're getting dark bows from Dark Beasts, you might make more money because you know a lot more of them come out of the game.
It's actually true. Of course, everything I say is fucking true.
Weapons and there's less of them in the market. So yeah, just a whole system, hopefully making content for PvPers, for people who actually want to do player versus player content. And if you don't like that, you don't need to engage in this.
Do you think the fact it's only
that's a great balance
and a few bosses a day sort of thing, does it have a role?
That's a lie. I don't think so at all.
Deterring all the sort of bot activity and so on.
Yeah, I think it will just make it.
Why would that be a lie? If there's money to be made,
easier for the anti-cheating team to
rather
monitor.
Than fighting bots on
for a start, you know, a bot might be able to try and go to do one event, and then you know they're very easily going to be caught out, and they won't be able to do it again. So it'll be very hard to reproduce. And then limited worlds, you know, because those worlds are going to have so many people in them. It's going to be very hard to replicate on a big scale. You know, to have a lot of accounts doing one piece of content, you're going to have to be focusing, and it's only real players that are going to be able to do the content.
Brilliant, thank you.
Sounds like there's been a huge amount of thought and consideration put into the update, which is amazing to see.
Make a
There's obviously a whole load of info that is on the
Old
School RuneScape website as well. Check out the blog. We'll give you the command for that in a moment once we wrap up the questions. But I'm curious, before we move into the rest of the reveals, is there anything that you wanted to add or potentially emphasize about Rathmore? Anything that might be super cadafragilisticexpialidocious, or maybe one thing that you really want to drive home to players before they go to vote on Rathmore in the Gig of Poll?
What did he just say?
I think just the point around this is catered towards players that like PvP content. If you don't like that content, don't worry, you're not going to have to go do it. You can let the players that enjoy that high risk, high reward PvP content go engage with that boss, and if not, you can just do whatever you want.
Amazing. And Daizong, anything from yourself that you'd like to add?
Yep, so we want to make this feels like a community event. So hopefully when
they want to make it, they're catering towards PvPers, and they're not bullshitting about it, which is big. Like that's the point. So you don't want to do it, you don't have to, and there is no drawback because of it. That's fucking massive. That's big. That's a win for everybody in the game, whether you like and do PvP or not. If you want to go on the Void Waker grind, or if you want to go on the Rev Cave grind, or you got a Woody Slayer task, this is just more people looking to PK. They're going to be distracted by this shit rather than you know? I think that's big.
Exclamation mark, Rathmore in the chat. The blog is now live. You'll be able to check out everything that is to come with the potential new World Boss.
That's
remember,
what this is.
rewards are something that we're going to continue on over the coming weeks and months. So I think that now that we've gone over that, we should probably talk about the next reveal.
Okay, here we go.
Which is probably a good job that we do that before we let the two of you go. So PvP for a little bit of a change of pace from PvP, let's talk about a new PVM encounter that you might be able to partake in. I will preface this by saying that it's very early into the design. I'm sure Mank and Daizong will be able to attest to that. So the detail is light, but we still want to just go over it anyway.
Okay.
And would you like to potentially bring forward what it is that we're talking about?
Sure, yes. So this encounter, we called it the Royal Titans. So in this encounter, player will face not only just one giant, but actually two. And they are actually the Edric, the Ice King, and Brandon, the Fire Queen. And yes.
The Ice and Fire Giants?
So we are actually trying to design a double giant boss fight here.
So it's
Ice and Fire Giant boss
set. We've got the Hill Giant boss, Obor, we've got the Moss Giant boss, Briar, and here we're bringing in two Royal Titans.
The Ice and Fire King and Queen
Fire Giant boss, essentially, and the Ice Giant boss. That sounds awesome.
That is pretty damn cool. Eldrick, the Ice King, and Branda, the Fire Queen. Looking forward to that. Modmank, what types of players would this encounter be for?
So this is probably for someone, you know, they've gone to Scurrius, they've learned how to do their prayers, they've got a newfound confidence, they've gone and got a fire cape, so they're, you know, really excited, and they're thinking, what do I want to encounter next? And this might be like a perfect place for them to go practice their skills at. It will primarily be focusing on changing your gear, so gear switching. We'll be trying to teach players that. So they can further progress into, you know, more late game content later on in their journey.
Awesome. I mean, Scurrius was super well received when it came out. I know a lot of players, when we first talked about it, were a bit dubious with it being a more low level.
Yeah, but the best part about Scurrius is you don't need a key to fucking do it like Obor,
the fact that it taught you some really cool foundational mechanics in Oldschool RuneScape combat was so welcomed by everyone. And I think even the fact that even now today people are still commenting on how good it is, this being the next step up from there, teaching you another set of core fundamental mechanics in gameplay, really is just going to help enhance everyone's knowledge so that we can hopefully, I imagine, the aim is to get as many people towards endgame PVM as possible, because the more people we have at endgame, the more reason there is for us to
No Monkey will not be happy
as well, right?
No Monkey is going to be pissed.
It felt like a big gap for a while, and I think we've done recent content, and this really helps to start to sort of finish off really fleshing out that space. I think it really, really helps.
That'd be quality of life,
focusing on more like gear switching. Will also complement really well what Scurrius does and what Perilous Moons does and so on. So that is really exciting to see.
The Monkey did do that to Scurrius, true.
Where's this content going to be, however, Mod Dizon? Who are these people? Where have they come from?
Yeah,
people.
it's
They're
a
not
good
really
question.
people.
Yeah, so we want the combat encounter to be happen in Ascania Ice Dungeon, and it's starting from, you know, there's a
Ascania Ice Dungeon
group of fire giants. They are from the volcano in the northern Karamaja, and they are leading by the Brenda, the Fire Queen, and they want to expand their territory to the east to the Ascania Ice Dungeon. And apparently, the Ice Giants there weren't happy for that, so they decided to summon Edric the Ice King to help to defend them. And then we have our adventurer, the player, who will jump in the middle there, you know, in between the frost and the flame. And then he will start to face both the Ice King and the Fire Queen.
So you're going to have a dungeon.
I would be very happy if
under
Crownja
here
and a bunch of big fire giants are trying to push their way into my cave.
They're going to connect this dungeon.
Absolutely. Get it in the middle of that. That sounds exciting. I saw some people mentioning keys and stuff in the chat. We can probably confirm that we aren't going to have the key system.
Oh, good shit. No keys. Thank fucking God.
And Briarfighter as well.
Key system. Oh, I couldn't help myself after Genghis. I was waiting for that. Okay, no keys.
No keys, that's good.
But what about general rewards? Do we have any reward ideas at this point?
Well, actually, we are still in the early development, so we haven't really started design of the reward for this encounter. But, you know, any idea, any feedback from community are more than welcome. You know, as we are in this early stage, we are very open to any good ideas.
That said, I know, Monk, you do have some early ideas in starting to form. We want to certainly at least explore what people might make of that. Do you want to tell people a bit more?
Yeah, personally, I'd love to have like a mage KO weapon, because currently we've got like a heavy ballista, hits hard, very slow, and then you've got like an Armadillo Godsword, again, hits hard, slow. So something for mage could be quite cool. But again, this is just my personal preference. We're definitely going to work with the community.
Something slower than the
it does come around to these rewards. So we'll be looking out for ideas as well. So if anyone in chat has a good idea, make sure you let us know. You know, posting something on Reddit or something so we can see it and build it into the design. That'd be wonderful.
Awesome. Well, I expect that, you know, should it pass the poll to be added into the game in the first place, then we will be posting up many different threads and areas of discussion for rewards-based discussion for us to then poll in the future. So check out that in the...
So have a mage spec weapon that's 50-50, it either deals burn damage or it freezes
when can
you.
players expect the Royal Titans to release if it does pass a poll?
Yep, as you can see, we plan to release it in spring 2025, so next year.
When the fuck is spring?
Amazing. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Daizong and Mank, for joining us. Now, we're officially halfway through the Summer Summit, and
don't tell me that's the other
Beyond. At the updated roadmap image. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Here we go.
Oh, thank fucking God,
as we spoke before, we already had Varlamore saying...
Oh, giant bosses are over there.
We now have Rathmore, the worm boss, and the giant bosses.
Awesome stuff. So yeah, just to confirm all the dates we've got so far as well. Varlamore just weeks away, September 25th.
Yeah.
Rathmore,
November, spring. When the fuck is spring?
And the giant boss.
March, April, May? Really? Okay. They're meant to.
Will be.
This is meant to go into RuneFest, which is March 1st.
In spring 2025.
I wonder what people in chat are most excited for. If you can go ahead and spam for us now.
I'm excited for the rest of the fucking roadmap.
Also, we have not forgotten about our second giveaway winner. We're very excited to be able to shout them out soon. But before we do that, let's take a look at our next reveal.
Okay.
And for this one, we've partnered up with Jimmy, as well as some other familiar faces within the content creation scene.
Yeah, Jimmy incoming.
To talk about what is known as Project Zanaris. This is something that we've known about for quite a while, but have kept under wraps until now. So you want to watch this, do not go anywhere.
We're not ready to
and we'll be right back
yet.
with you.
All right.
Roll the tape and enjoy. I can't wait to see your reactions.
Don't spoil it for everyone, all right, mate?
My name is Jimmy. I've received the tip-off that Jagex is going through with some kind of top-secret project. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I need to have some kind of server ready. So ASAT and I have decided to host a show where players can pitch their ideas to us to see if we'll invest. This is Shark Bank. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but there's a chance this first guy's the best pitch we get all day.
Yeah, this is the idea guy.
This player is determined to change everything again.
Hey guys, how's it going? So I had a
Is he talking to us?
idea today. I decided
Dude, I think he's really trying to pitch from back there.
Are you guys saying something?
Can you come closer to us,
Hello?
please?
Move up.
Did you say closer or further?
There's no world in which I said further. Please move closer to us.
They don't even sound alike. Come here.
Is this better?
You're usually really smart about this stuff. Yes, this is better. Much better.
I have a really good idea today. Can you guys sit down at all? Like, is it possible?
Is it going to be a server thing?
Down?
We're sitting.
Both of us are sitting. We only sit on the show.
I'm a little nervous. Okay.
That's fine. No, I get that. I'm excited. You've had many ideas that have quite literally changed the landscape.
It's going to be a private server announcement,
so,
right?
I mean,
yeah.
Right.
I might be more nervous than you are right now because this could change everything for us. I mean, we've been waiting for
that's
this.
Sweet of you.
Ready to hear what you have to say?
How much do people usually ask for funding? Like, what did the last guy ask for?
How was that remotely relevant?
No. It's not about anyone else. This is about you.
How much are you guys worth, like, in game, maybe? Like, how much money do you guys have?
You know you're supposed to be pitching something to us.
Imagine this. You spawn into your favorite game, old school RuneScape.
I just got goosebumps.
And you are only allowed to be in Mauritania.
So far, so good. Keep going.
The entire right side of the map, there's like that swamp area, there's like Canifis, and you have like barrows over there. Like you cannot leave that area.
I got that part.
Right.
What do you think?
This is why I'm glad I don't script my content.
You're also bald. Every character will be bald.
Bald.
Is there a reason for
Cricket's
that?
hurt.
Affect your gameplay. So your idea is locked to Mauritania and then hair.
No hair.
No hair, right?
I thought you had something that you've been waiting to reveal for a long time.
Guys,
this idea sucks.
You think that's it? You think I would just come here and say lock people to Mauritania and make them bald?
My bad. Okay, all right. Now I'm not worried.
Go ahead.
You're locked in Mauritania. You're bald. But what if you also only had 1 HP? You go into the swamp and a snail sees you. 1 hit and you're done. Like it adds a lot of like help me out here, guys.
Yeah, this is nightmare mode.
So these are 2 things you've done and everyone's watched you suffer through.
This is Swampletics plus nightmare mode.
What's that?
I think I'd eat actual
I think this is why Settled is better off making RuneScape content than making
Now, a player that wants
content.
to take Fashionscape to a new level.
What is going on?
Hi Sharks, today I'm asking for 30 billion GP for 50% stake in my Dress to Impress server. Have you ever thought about what...
See, my idea is better. I prefer Dress to Depress.
Drowning out reality.
Escaping their horrible lives.
Forgetting
You've got to make someone throw up with your outfit.
As possible.
That's not really what I was going for, but sure.
All right.
Sorry.
The biggest goal everyone has is fashion. People spend thousands of hours grinding for swords, hats, all kinds of different outfits. What if you could skip that grind and just go straight to the outfits and showing off in front of people?
That devalues the outfit. The 1,000 hours makes it meaningful.
It won't devalue it because you're going to be judged by other people on how cool your outfit is.
Right.
So it's just a never-ending Fashionscape contest?
Everyone gets to choose from the same pool of items, and then at the end of the round, let's say after 5 minutes of dressing up, everyone gets to vote on everyone else's characters.
Sounds complicated.
I would just vote for myself, so...
I would vote for you too.
You can't vote for yourself. Every round, there's a theme. Like one theme could be ketchup and mustard. One theme could be gnome child.
Ketchup and mustard.
Is there a reason that you've chosen ketchup and mustard, or...
It's a weird color scheme.
I agreed. It's a weird color scheme.
It's a weird color scheme.
Those are good colors. It's an unflattering way to describe them, I'd say.
It's just cutting out all the unnecessary parts of RuneScape and focusing on the important things, which is looking cool.
Some of the most fun I've had was hosting a Fashionscape contest. Everyone loved it. But during that contest, I learned something about myself, and that's that I can't handle secondhand embarrassment. I can't do it. Thinking about someone wearing a terrible outfit and making everyone stare at them, that's my worst nightmare. I can't risk that happening, and for that reason, I'm out.
Okay.
You still got another shark, don't you worry. I gotta hand it to you. You and your business partner, you did a great job. I think you're playing 5D chess in a 2D checkers market. I don't know much about it. I don't want to get my hands dirty in a field that I'm not experienced with, and for that reason, I'm out.
You have a really good idea here. I'm gonna give you congratulations, because I mean that's a great
That's so rare for him. He says that once a year.
Once a year max.
I'm not gonna lie,
that's almost
this
just
is
as good as an investment.
terrible.
I'm gonna save my congratulations. I'll give you a job well done. I'll give you the little gold star.
No, it is.
Star.
It's
Great
fucking
pitch.
shit.
Up next, a PKer that could purge any other ideas.
Hey Sharks, today I want to pitch to you the only server that you will ever need, a purge server. I'm looking for an investment of 350 million GP to make this dream a reality.
Okay.
The server behaves like normal, but one night a week, PvP is enabled everywhere and rare drops are guaranteed from every single boss. This will mix the thrill of PvP with the excitement of PvM, kind of like Deadman mode, but in a much better way. Dying during the purge results in you losing your entire bank.
My entire bank? I don't like that.
If you get a rare drop, you cannot log out for 30 minutes upon looting this drop.
Okay.
A lot of players aren't really a big fan of the whole, losing my whole bank when I die thing.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing
This is
a lot
terrible,
of promise
man.
here.
There are hundreds of people that play Deadman mode. So there's people
They're just waffling on about
We're looking at a
like,
market
get to the
of
fucking
potentially
point.
dozens of people.
Hundreds.
What's this got to do with
Zanaris?
If you die during this purge, you also lose your entire bank on the main game. And it just
There's
is
attempts at
funneled
comedy here that aren't
directly
even
into
funny.
The investor's bank account.
We get all their items on the main game if they die in our server.
All of their items on the main game.
You think people will agree to that?
If they don't read the terms and conditions, then
Essentially,
These are people
you're
who found
attempting
success
to
by
prey
playing
on the
RuneScape,
player
not by
base.
Yeah.
And you do realize that this show
being
is
content
being
creators,
broadcast publicly.
Other than
to
maybe
many
Jimmy, that's
people,
it.
including most of the people that would be playing the server, and they'll be fully aware of the
We get it.
scam
It's
that you're
private
pitching,
service.
correct?
It's a bad idea.
I'm
This
going to
is
be
an L
looking
idea
for
from Jagex
57 billion
immediately.
GP to make this happen.
I have 350 written down here.
350M right here on the
No,
paper.
and I get that. I probably did say that, but I realized actually halfway
This is a
through
bad
that
way
I
to
would need a
announce
little
it,
bit
for
more.
sure.
57 billion GP.
I
For
play a
what
private gamble
equity?
server.
10% equity.
10% equity.
You're valuing this idea
Sounds
at
like a waste of time.
5.7 trill, which is more than the GDP of Gillinor.
That's right.
Your numbers are psychotic.
I know what I'm worth.
I don't like your idea. I don't get it. But I like you and I like what you're thinking. So I'm going to make you an offer.
Okay.
I'm going to offer you 1 bill and 20 uncharged glories. And I want 50%.
20 uncharged. Can I charge them?
You can do whatever you want with the glories. They're in your custody.
I'm going to counter. 10 billion GP and 5 glories.
What the fuck are we
What do you
doing
think?
here?
That's not a good deal, is it?
None of this is a good deal. It was a bad deal when you walked in that door.
Listen, I'm willing to go in with my partner, Jim, here, who's an expert in these sort of purge things. Right, Jim? So you're an expert.
I'm an expert in these purge things.
We're going to offer you 3 bill and 4 amulets of power because we bring a lot to the table.
You bring a lot to the
We're
table.
business experts. We know a lot about purges and taking money from players.
3 bill. We have a deal.
Do we have 3 bill?
I mean, I don't have 3 bill. I mean, I don't.
Do you know anyone?
I
that
could
has
have made
3 bill that
something
you're
better
close
than
with?
this in 30 seconds.
I said we give him 3 bill.
100%.
Out later.
All right, you've got yourself a deal.
Oh, thank you so much for your time,
110%.
gentlemen.
We're going to make a lot of money together.
Finally, a player that's going to bring true competition to Gillinor.
You have to time people out, Corn, for them saying it's
Hey
gay.
Sharks,
It is gay as
my
fuck.
name is Soup. I'm the founder, creator, producer, CEO, and visionary behind the hit series Love Island
Wow, they got
RuneScape.
Soup
Well,
on
today,
there
I have an
with
idea
Gillinor
for a
Games.
brand new show that will take place on a brand new server, the Gillinor Games server. I'm seeking a 65 billion GP investment in exchange for 5% returns on every game played in the server. How are you liking it so far?
I'm not liking it.
that
Here's
was-
the reality, guys. Gillinor Games is better watched than it is played. You and your 6 mates jumping in on a Gillinor Games server, that's going to last you no more than 2 months of enjoyment in general, and then you're going to be back to the main game, because guess what? Nothing in these private servers are going to affect the main game. Nothing in these private servers are going to have an impact on your main game account. You are not going to progress. You're not going to make money. You will not be able to transfer a fucking thing from private servers to main game. So the private server idea is terrible. Whoever's been pushing for it has no fucking clue. This is just not, this is not a good use of time. This is like holding on to nostalgia. This is like holding on to just like hope, but you're not thinking about where it's actually going to take you. It's content creators that will take advantage of it. Yes, you can make video series from it. Yes, it will make it easier for you to make fun, enjoyable content. But for 99% of the player base, you'll be back on the main fucking game within 2 weeks. That's why you get bored of leagues. You know how you play leagues, and then after like fucking 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're back on the main game. Your takes are so shit. Cunt, you are not going to be playing. You played old school RuneScape for the past 10 years. You're not going to be playing 10 years of private servers. You will not. You'll be back on the main game within 3 to 6 months, no matter what. I guarantee you. You will not move to the private servers permanently. There is no benefit for you to be on private servers. There are minor benefits for people to have a bit of fun, but that's it. It will not happen. You will end up going, oh, I wish I had fucking progression on my main account again. This isn't about the main game, idiot. It absolutely is about the main game. Why would we want this? How does this benefit players? You can have fun while doing it. That's totally fine, yes. But this is a waste of time. Like, you have private servers available already. Bad take? How is it a bad take? I've just explained exactly what's going to happen. You're going to play these for a little bit, and then you're going to go back to the main game. Place to hang out and fuck around will be fun. Exactly. But you're going to be back on the main game eventually. 6 months' time, these servers are going to be dead. 6 to 12 months' time, people are not going to be using private servers. It's not even like disputable. You're not going to be on this for 12 months plus. You're not going to. It's not meant to take away players, dumb fuck. I know, that's what I've said. You're arguing my point. What's the problem? Let's do anything because we're going to be back to the main game. The problem is that people are rallying for ideas in old school RuneScape that are cope, right? People are like, yeah, no, this would be really good. We're going to be able to play dress to impress. Okay, but you're going to be back in the fucking main game. And they've dragged this skit out now for 8 minutes. Written, directed, and produced by Jimmy and 8sat. You guys did a fucking terrible job. Jimmy and 8sat, that was fucking shit. It's more content for the game, be happy. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm telling you, this is just an L fucking announcement. Your entire blog post reading is wasting time to make it to 8 minutes for ads.
For those of you watching at home, if you haven't quite
what does that
figured
mean?
It out
There's
yet,
no blog post. I'm not reading shit.
I'm really excited to announce that we are.
So negative? Just start. I'm not negative.
Community servers to old school RuneScape.
I'm just giving you my opinion on it.
Where you get to decide how you want to play the game in your own way. Whether or not you want to take up any of the ideas from Jimmy's video, well, that's an entirely separate discussion in its own right. But for now, let's hear. Yeah,
I just want to play a different server a few times. That's exactly my point. You're going to play a few times, then you're going to be back in the main game, and it's just going to be dead in the water, right?
Last year, we included a question.
That's exactly what I just said. So you're disagreeing with me by agreeing with me.
RuneScape. After a very promising reception,
I don't understand.
We're ready to announce this semi-secret project: Old School RuneScape community servers. Before we dive any deeper, you can relax.
This is iron mentality in this game.
Has a new dedicated
going because I needed progress,
meaning
not playing
that the OSRS
That's not iron mentality.
Smashing out.
I'm just telling you exactly how community servers are going to work.
That said, let's introduce you to one of those new faces.
You're going to play them for like 3 to 6 months, and then you're going to be back on the main game.
And I'm a senior technical designer here at Jagged.
It's not that big of an idea that people think it is.
The idea for community servers is one we've been toying around with for some time, and we're so excited to finally confirm that they're in development. For the unaware, community servers will let you host or join a custom-made server where you make the rules.
Hate the idea of trading? Then get rid of it. Want to mess around with how much damage you deal or take? Go right ahead. Or maybe you feel like you really resonate with one area of Gielinor in particular. Then lock the world to only Mauritania. Recreate your favourite game modes or invent new ones. Your world can be exactly what you want it to be with whoever you want. Just a small group of friends or open it up to the community. The choice really is yours.
Ultimately, we want this to be a place for players to jump in to create and share their own old school RuneScape experiences. Right now, our focus is on tweaking and modifying the parameters that already exist in the game. However, this is just the beginning. Community servers are the first step in giving you more control over your old school experiences. Our goal is to eventually enable you to develop your own creations and share those with the wider community.
Now, this is a huge
Like I said,
undertaking
where's the
for
fucking time?
So, while we continue to work on this in the background, we want
So
to
they use the
focus
service
on
to gamble?
delivering our
No,
initial
because they
phase of
won't.
the community servers.
They won't correlate with the main
You are
game,
first
so there's no need to
at our
gamble.
vision.
In terms of what's next, alongside
There's no
internal
monetary benefit.
playtests, we want to get lots of
They
you
probably
involved
could
over the course
in a
of
way,
our
but
project.
they
To
they
keep
don't
the
link
spirit
directly with
of
the
Old
main
School
game.
alive with this project, making something for you, with you. For now, you'll
You
hear
can
us
swap,
refer
they'll
to
ban
this
that, they'll
as
monitor
Project
that.
Zanaris,
I'd hope.
while we continue in development with your guidance.
It's called Project Zanaris, so it's not a
We
quest
hope
line
to make
continue.
this a truly special
Wow.
addition to an otherwise amazing community, and hope that you'll work with us to make it the best it can be. And we want to start soon by opening a new channel within the Discord so we can hear more about your thoughts and ideas for Project Zanaris. We know you'll have many questions, and we'll answer them when we can at various stages of development. For now, please take a look at the current FAQ on our channels and expect more updates soon.
I thought it was going to be a
so
variant
much for
quest
your time, and we
improvement.
can't wait to get you involved.
Right. So it's called Project Zanaris. For community servers. Okay. While they waffle on, let me just clear up, because some people seem confused about me being overly negative about the idea of community servers. This has always been my take since community server topic came up, and it's what I believe is going to happen. Is that they're going to bring it to the game, and yes, of course, you're going to have fun doing what you want to do. You can do your own mini Gilnor games and stuff, but the reality is that none of these servers are going to correlate with the main game, and eventually, you will want to go back to the main game. Okay, yes, you can switch them from time to time and have your fun. Of course, like many games do that, but I just don't see it being an overall accepted benefit by a lot of the players in this game. Like, why would you want to play 6 to 12 months of Gilnor games or Mauritania locked content? You're like, it's kind of parasocial if you fucking ask me, but I feel like while there are benefits and you can have a bit of fun left and right with your mates, eventually you're going to end up back on the fucking main game, you know? That's all that's going to happen. I feel like this is a fucking shit idea, personally.
Their own world and customize it to their liking. For our players who are more technically competent,
boss training,
we're
that'll
looking
be
at
it. I
ways
mean,
of
people do that
adding
on beta
advanced
worlds already. Yeah,
customization so they
that's
can
fine.
really hone in on the details.
But I tell you what, there's a reason why I don't do Chambers of Xeric runs on beta servers when testing gear, because I don't want to pull a fucking purple on a beta server. If I do a beta world purple run to test out like the Tumic and Shadow when that was being trialed, and I pull a T-Bow on the beta world, I'd fucking kill myself, right? Why would I do Chambers of Xeric content on anything but the official game? Why would I go hunting, learning
players already?
Tom, you know? Why would I do that?
Trying to understand what we should focus on, what things are good, what they think about the project, and taking all of that feedback in and pushing that through to the project. Now, for everyone, all the lovely folks at home, there'll actually be a closed
play
beta
leagues?
for
I play
some
leagues
people,
until I hit
later this
the end tier,
year,
then I get bored.
and then into next
I play
year.
leagues for a bit of fun.
We are hoping
but guess
to
what?
go into
I play for
open
2 to
beta
3
where we can
weeks,
get more
and then I'm
reviews
back on the
for
main
login.
game. Much like private
But
servers,
if
same
you
logic,
don't
man.
want to wait that long, the Discord should have a new area right now where you can talk about all the things Project Zanaris has to offer. So leave your ideas, leave your discussions, just go in there and have fun.
I would vote yes for it.
Amazing.
I just don't
like,
think
I
it's...
love the fact that
I think
even
people
from
are delusional
from
of
the
how
initial
fucking like
get-go,
amazing it's
a
going to be.
Hugely collaborative approach involving the team.
Maybe because you're a little baby like me and there's no chance you'll even complete a raid without having a spotted practice in.
Right, because it is obviously, as Kieran said, you mentioned as well.
No,
it's a
I'm
huge
the best player in the
undertaking
fucking
to
game,
make sure
dude.
that it's something that,
I do everything with
the
my eyes
players
shut.
are happy
I just
with,
don't want to get a
comfortable
purple
with,
when
that it
it's
works
not
the
on
way
my
that
main
they
account.
expect it to, and that it's going to fit into old school as well. There's a load of questions that are going to be answered as well in the FAQ.
If they let you swap items seeing it's a JX controlled server, that would be dope, but they'd probably charge you to do transfer. They won't do that at all. They will not let you. If you can, because they're going to let you adjust drop rates. They're going to let you adjust different levels of damage, attack speeds. They're going to let you modify the entire server. They will not. Community. It's like playing any other game that has community servers and then official, casual, and competitive servers. They don't correlate with each other. And guess what? The community servers are normally full of fucking hackers and cheaters anyway. Right? It's just open sandbox. It doesn't touch the main game. There's no fucking way they will allow you to print like new gear into the game. That would just ruin the economy.
And we know that players try and recreate these experiences. We see them doing
There's no way.
Moonlight, we see them doing it in self-imposed rules, but we hear that they often have difficulty doing it. They find it quite
Check people who don't want to grind for shit so they can start servers and pump drop rates.
Why not give the players...
This is basically people go, hey, you want a league? Now you can make your own league. Now we don't have to make leagues anymore. We'll do our own official league every 12 months. You can play leagues for the rest of the year.
I'm just in awe of like listening to the passion that you have for it. But I am really curious though, and I think chat have been bringing this up quite a bit. I've been reading through and seeing some of the comments on here. How do we foresee Project Zanaris fitting in collaboration with Oldschool itself? Obviously, you know, it's presumably and understandably
there are benefits
separate from the old
people can come up with really good ideas, community tested ideas, community field testing can then bring ideas to the Jagex team. People can make their own designs and then Jagex can take those ideas and modify them for the main game and then poll them. There is potential for that. Content creators will take great advantage of it to host competitions, challenges, do their own content, be able to give you different aspects in videos without having to interfere with the main game or rely on people to not come and rag you. Great.
We know how important
private servers are illegal, yes.
Old School is.
But
so this is
for
why
the majority,
this
is
built for Project
in my
Zanaris.
opinion, just not this ain't it.
Things away from the main game. We're not taking, you know, your Eds, your Ashes, and putting them onto a new project. This is a completely new team that has so much passion behind it and so much drive, and they understand the Old School ethos on the way. So that's why it's exciting, I think.
Oh, I ain't paying money for a private server.
So much potential.
Private servers have to be free.
Like literally thrived.
If they charge you money to have access to private servers,
community servers.
After already increasing the membership prices, hell fucking no. That shit needs to be free. No fucking way should you be paying for that. Hell no.
Imagining that in a RuneScape environment, there's so many different things. I'm getting excited.
I just think we felt.
I know about it, so. Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Kieran. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask?
No, because the main game will dominate this.
Speechless.
Spoke a different language for a second. I echo everything you just said. Like, I think the potential.
The main game will dominate this. This will this will die.
TJ, the creativity in this community is immense. I mean, I look at like even like PvP All Stars, the Dead Man All Stars event we did earlier this year. Like that is very much to me in the wheelhouse of what could be possible with this. Obviously, with something like Dead Man All Stars, we worked with the creators involved to support such an event. But like to me, where we could potentially get to with something like this is that anybody could just run that sort of event, set it up, without much support needed from us on a day-to-day. And to me, to have more of that sort of stuff, more of that creativity happening and being possible, like I think that's really exciting. None of this takes away from the core game, that carries on. And this just gives something else that you can also spend your time in, another way to spend your time in Gillinor.
That's all it is.
That's a great thing.
All those ideas we see on Reddit is just
it's not inherently a bad idea.
Black background, yellow text.
Like if they added this to the game,
I've just made this in community servers. Go and check it out and see what you think.
It's people are overestimating how fucking like.
So again, thank you so much, both Marsani and TJ, for joining us. If you are interested in more information regarding Project Zanaris, then do !Zanaris in the chat for a link to the blog. But also, there'll be a live stream on Tuesday, the 12th of September. Sorry, not a live stream. There'll be a live Discord AMA on the 12th of September at 4:30 BST, so that's 4:30 PM BST, and that's in the official Old School RuneScape Discord. The channel is now there. You can see the Zanaris channel. Make sure you join in on that and get involved. You'll be able to ask all the questions on there. Check out the FAQ. There's going to be so much more information shared around Project Zanaris now that it's finally out in the open.
Well,
and as we continue to develop through it, we can ensure that you'll be part of that journey from the start all the way through to the end.
But yeah, really, really exciting stuff. I can't wait to see what the community think. We can't wait to see all your comments, thoughts, your ideas of what you might want to create on a server. So exciting times. Moving on then, we have the winner for the cookbook giveaway. Everyone loves it when I say cookbook. I feel like I'm just so conscious of it every time I say cookbook. But the winner is Velixas. So congratulations.
A huge congratulations to Velixas on your signed version of the Cookbook. If you would like to purchase your own copy, it won't be signed, unfortunately, but you can do so. Just use !cookbook to find out all the details.
Yeah, anyway, while they plug their merch, we still haven't got another drop on the enhanced teleport table, but don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button down below and let me know if you think I'm right or wrong about my opinion on community service, because I think it's overhyped garbage that won't be very popular in general. That's about it. I've got nothing else to say.
We're putting these together. Now tonight we're giving away 5 different covers, cover variants of this. This is a must-have if you're into comics or collections of these sorts. The comic itself actually expands on the epic lore behind the iconic God Wars dungeon, delving into the Temple of Lost Ancients during the height of the catastrophic God Wars. It's also written by acclaimed fantasy writer Ryan O'Sullivan, which is pretty damn awesome.
Absolutely is. So as per the other giveaways, head over to the Old School Discord using !Discord to join that giveaway. But of course, you can also purchase the comics if you'd rather go for that. An !comic in the chat will get you all the details to get you to the website to purchase it.
Now, before we get into the next 2 announcements, I think it's time that we just take a little bit of a step back and talk about some of the smaller content updates that you can look forward to. So to start with, let's talk a little bit about the Curse of Arrav, which is a remake of the 2009 Master Tier quest that continues on with the Majorat storyline. We've seen this story now advance through the likes of Wild Gothic Sleeps and Desert Treasure 2. Kieran, please tell us more.
Absolutely. So we don't want to give absolutely everything away, but there will be a distinct old school version of this quest, which is exciting.
Just the Defender of Varrock.
Mostly the story will be pretty much the same. There'll be adjustments to dialogue.
You turn into a crying bitch.
Respect to the original.
How have I turned into a crying bitch by giving my opinion on the private servers when all you've done, instead of like provide constructive criticism of what I've said, you've just said you're whinging and crying.
Interesting.
Why not give me a reason as to why you disagree with me? Wouldn't that be a more logical route to take in this discussion? Because you just come across looking like a bit of a freak, mate.
I don't know why I went for a meal, but so obviously you get your usual quest points, you get your usual XP. XP will be in mining, thieving, agility, but you'll also get access to Zanaris Fortress,
Give me some examples.
which allows you to fight the higher level variants of armored zombies.
Provide examples, otherwise your argument
You'll have encountered some of those in Defender of Varrock. They drop the zombie axe, and you will also be able to get now a zombie helmet. It sits between the dwarven helmet and the Inquisitor's
provide
great
examples.
helmet.
That's the thing.
And it'll be a crush-focused head slot item.
That's the problem with people like you that comment. You whinge, you cry. Give me an example.
Ooh,
provide one.
It sounds pretty poggers.
It's one thing to say, it's another thing to prove it, you know?
Why is this such an important update for us? Like, there has to be more than just this small quest, right?
Well, of course. It's obviously this is a small update, but it covers very important story beats that will set the scene for future old school specific story plans. Teehee.
Okay.
Pointing out issues.
Little bit.
Just giving my opinion. That's why I'm live streaming.
Maybe we'll have to talk about that in the very near future. Who knows? Okay. How about now we talk about GameJam? We released a blog earlier this year which had a bunch of cool proposals in it, and it got players talking.
Exactly right, Catnip. And that's what I said.
What pitches?
Player-created content on the community servers would be good to help like the Jagex and take those ideas and bring them to the main game. That's exactly right. That's what I was thinking. That's what I said earlier.
Hey, I'm Mod Husky. This game jam, I decided to take a look at the collection log system. I wanted to create a collection summary interface, a popular suggestion from player Rupert, whilst also looking at some general quality of life improvements to the collection log interfaces as a whole. The collection summary interface is a separate secondary interface where you will be able to see your total items collected by category, as well as your 12 most recent collections. The player concept also suggested collection ranks, from bronze to gilded, which come with a cosmetic staff and offhand logbook, so you can flex how much of the log you've completed. You can read more about
I will be filling out this collection log ranks while you guys are on private servers trying to learn how to theater of blood.
While doing skilling or combat activities, and move or resize the interface for you.
I got you, boys.
I've also implemented some official high score support so you can see exactly how many log slots you have compared to every other player.
Anyone else notice how
so make sure
no one's provided any examples of my whinging?
It's time to improve mini menus. They can be especially annoying for all of those teleport items. Why is it when I'm wearing a Ring of Dueling,
thought the rock
I can
videos were a bit
teleport
whingey.
easily,
The
but
rock
in the
videos.
inventory it is a total pain in the arse. And it gets interrupted
Where
in
I just
combat
reacted
from
to
that quick.
their apology.
Introducing the sub-menu system. With this, you can access options from the inventory too,
I mean, I just called it
indicated
cringe.
by
I don't
the
know if
handy
that was
little
whinging.
arrow. Also, we can finally adjust where the use option appears, so we can get it right out of the way when needed. Anyone
That's
lucky
fucking
enough
dope.
to have a Maxscape will know it has an absolute maze of options. This update is mint for the Maxscape.
This is
as
really
we've been
good.
able to totally tidy it up. Huge kudos to Mod Lycos and Mod Lenny, who did all of the groundwork to make this possible.
The player-owned home customization update is a project that aims to create more options
Jack's
of
banning
lateral
them, being anything
customization
but
for
positive.
players. We included new
Don't you
options
think
for
Rock
the altar
deserved to be
room,
banned?
portal rooms, combat room, and various customization options for your decorative spaces. I used to really love going
Do you
to
disagree
POH
with them being
parties to
banned?
see
Is that
how
what you're
everyone
saying?
decorated their homes, but always felt the choices for spicing up your house were a bit limited. This update will widen our reward space for all levels in your construction journey, and allow
think they
those
didn't
who
deserve to
take
be banned?
pride in their
Right.
houses to establish more of a personal touch.
So you're part of Rock, I'm assuming.
Hey, Mod Halo here. In the most recent Game Jam, myself and Mod Ash joined forces to give you the deposition and reposition exposition. This update brings
But if
a
you don't, the
fresh
apology
new
was spot on.
overhauled deposit box interface, both making it intuitive and more mobile friendly. We added a button to conveniently deposit
I
wall
like this, the
items
layers. This is
and
what they
move
showed in the
away
game
from
jam. This is
string
good shit.
horizontal inventory.
Well, they
the
should be
current
banned. Then I don't
deposit
understand your
box has.
point.
We have also swapped where the deposit warn and the loot bag deposit buttons are, so there's no more misclicking and depositing all your gear on accident. Additionally, we've added an option to remove the prompt asking what quantity you want to deposit when using items on a deposit box.
I didn't
so
know you
you
could
can
do
now
that. Never
easily
done that
bank
before.
a whole inventory with one interaction if you so desire. Wait, there's more. Locked inventory slots. This will be a new option, both accessible in the new deposit interface and the bank settings. First, lock a slot either via a right-click option, which is toggleable, or the more tap-friendly grid provided in the locked slot settings. If a slot is locked, the bank or
This
deposit
is all in
box
the game jam.
will
This
never
is good
deposit
shit.
items
I like this
within that
stuff.
slot, whether you click it directly or deposit your whole inventory. No need to rely on bank fillers to lock items out of the bank. Maybe you're rune crafting at the ZMI altar. Make your banking
Roblox
easier
custom servers
by
are the individual
locking your
Roblox
rune
server. I
patches.
personally
Or
would live
maybe
in
you're
2006
slaying
8 PK
and need to
server.
bank quickly.
I mean,
before
Roblox
you
I think is
lose
also
your
around
Slayer
because
spot.
of the children,
Lock
right?
your handy
Predators
Slayer
and stuff.
supplies.
You're complaining about
Deposit
how
your
long it took them to
inventory,
ban, right?
and resupply with food or potions. Easy.
Yeah.
Banking has never
Because
felt better. That's all
There's
for
been
now.
like 10 years of
Let us know
Deadman
what
mode
you
being
think.
DDoSed,
A
abused,
big
and
shout out to Mod Ash for his
cheating
work
for
on this
real world
project
money.
as well.
I feel like that's a valid complaint, don't you think? They should have got rid of
I always love
years ago. I felt
every
that's a
time
popular
Game Jam
opinion.
comes around because there's an absolute plethora of content that comes out of it. The passion that the developers have for the things that they work on is just incredible to see. The next one's coming up very soon, and I cannot wait to see what else comes of that. Kieran, talk us through how were these features actually picked from the Game Jam blog, added into the game.
Obviously, that's not everything. There's a whole
Private
host of
servers
other
equipment.
stuff that was done in the last Game Jam. But ultimately, like, we're looking at the stuff that we thought really good. I'm sure
I love
all the
this
stuff
stuff.
we use
This
in the
is
chat. I
good.
know you all love a lot of the stuff we just showcased, which is
Yeah.
awesome. But also stuff that's basically just about finished in the Game Jam.
Mhm.
So it's stuff that we can get out reasonably soon. So it makes sense to pull that forward and, hey, let's get it into the game if you want it. So that's what's happening next. And Game Jams as a whole are just a good chance for developers to work on those little pet peeves. We all have our own gripes. We all play the game. We all run into the same issues that a lot of players do. And, you know, we have the power to
Yeah, Kieran looks like he's
change
lost
some of it
weight.
in a Game
Absolutely.
Jam and
Power.
see what happens. So
We do. I don't think we're going to have any problems with getting any of this content to pass based on the chat's reaction.
Oh, there's
alone.
room
It's a
reverb because I've
representation of the
moved my
wider
room and I got rid of
community,
my
then
carpet.
pretty
That's
sure it will go in. Talk to a little bit about the importance of updating and improving quality of life in Old School. It's seen as something, you know, we do relatively consistently with the larger polls and such. Why is it so important to the game?
I mean, to me, I think every update we do and over the long term should always be making the game better.
Mhm.
And that also requires us to work on older content, tidy up old systems, and do these quality of life things. If we spent all of our time just on the big new things, here's another Grandmaster
Shouldn't we be giving positive feedback because I'm finally having this fun to encourage it moving forward?
A lot of stuff would be left behind. And obviously we can't necessarily get to everything all the time, but
about the banning
we
on, bro.
know there's so much stuff that we can improve and make better, and obviously you see a bunch of it just now, and you see the response from players. I think it really is important that we make that core experience just better, and I think it really stands out if you think about what the old school RuneScape experience was like in 2013, and a lot of the quality of life stuff we lacked back then versus what we have now. Like, that is the addition of all these hundreds and hundreds of small changes that we've made that just make the game feel so much nicer to play. Less annoyances, less little gripes, and the game's better for it, in my opinion.
Oh, I definitely would agree with you, and I think it's also resonates with the community. The quality of life has always gone down really well. I remember.
I think the Zanaris. I was disappointed in the Zanaris thing because I thought it was a new questline expansion.
In quite a long time, actually, and you know, in the grand scheme of things.
And the private server thing has never been like it's never been something I've banked on. I understand the hype and I get, and I know the benefits on it, but I also think that people are rallying for
your experience. Now, what about other stuff that was featured in the game
for content that I think it could be better used elsewhere?
In particular, I was super excited and really passionate about bingo and adding official bingo.
Oh, the bingo stuff would be big.
The bingo pitch is so good, and I love a lot of the UI work that's been shown in that GameJam pitch as well. Ultimately, obviously, that's a much bigger idea, and so are some of the others. So they need more work to get them to a place where they are.
Did anyone see the bingo stuff?
Ready to sort of go. So ultimately, it'll be when there's a slot for them. And the ones that we think are strongest. Obviously, by putting them in that blog, we also get a chance to have seen the response and what players liked most, what players reacted to, and then we'll obviously take that into account with deciding which ones we should prioritize.
They've only got videos, but this stuff here.
Amazing. Thank you so much. If you want to read up all about the things GameJam related, ! GameJam in the chat. The blog is now live. You can check out all the info there.
So you don't have to do external
But with GameJam now wrapped up, it's time to take a sneak peek into the future with our next reveal called The Final Dawn. Roll the VT.
Final Dawn?
A darkness rises.
My boy,
Varlamore.
Mod Ed.
But soon comes the Final Dawn. Varlamore, the Final Dawn, is our next big expansion to Varlamore, and it's very much a finale to everything we've done with Varlamore so far.
The finale of the Varlamore saga.
That said, make no mistake, just like with the rest of the game world, Varlamore will continue to grow for years to come. With the release of the Final Dawn, you'll be able to explore 3 new areas of Varlamore: the Tlati Rainforest, the Auburn Valley, and the Custodia Pass. With these new areas, you'll have access to all of mainland Varlamore, meaning you'll now be able to journey all the way from
It'll be a sad day when we lose him as a mod.
Border with the Kebos Lowlands. Alongside these new areas to explore, we have a huge range of new gameplay additions across questing, PVM, and skilling. First up, quests. As with previous Varlamore expansions, Final Dawn comes with multiple new quests. We don't want to spoil too much, so we'll just talk about one today, a master tier finale to the Twilight Emissary story. Like the expansion itself, this quest is named The Final Dawn, and we'll see you delving deeper than ever before into the history of Varlamore and the mysterious Old Ones. As for PVM, we have something never before seen in Old School, an Enrage boss. Known only as the Doom of Mokiotl. This boss, initially, seems like any other. However, upon death, you'll have a choice. You can either leave with your loot, or instead, you can fight a tougher version of this foe. You can repeat this as many times as you like,
kind of like the Colosseum.
the boss becoming increasingly more challenging, and the rewards increasingly more lucrative. How far do you think you can go?
That's dope.
If the answer is not very, then perhaps you might prefer some new skilling additions. The people of Auburn are some of the best woodworkers around.
Is that a thing from R3?
And their skills in fletching are unmatched. Join with them in a new fletching method that sees you recycling your old bows into mystical totems with which you can appease the ancient ents of the Auburn Valley. This is just a small taste of what's to come with Varlamore, the Final Dawn, as alongside these headliners, we also have plenty of other new features coming to the area. From an AFK crab boss to some elusive slayer creatures, there's plenty of other things on offer. Keep an eye out on our official channels as more details will be coming your way later this year. Thank you.
That's cool. I like the idea of that enrage boss. That's sick. It'd be good to have something like that.
There we have it, Varlamore, the final dawn. And we are now joined by the wonderful mod Ed in person to answer a few of our questions. How are you doing today, Ed?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. We're so excited to have you here to talk about this final, I assume, from the name, content expansion within Varlamore. Let's start off with talking about quests. We've mentioned a quest in the video. What else have you got in store for us?
I do like talking about quests. So I've just lied. I say I like talking about quests. I can't actually really talk too much about the quest because we're sort of in this weird situation here where we're announcing a sequel to a quest that hasn't launched yet. So obviously, hopefully people might have noticed that the second part of Varlamore, the Rising Darkness, is launching in just a few weeks. That's obviously coming with the next part in the Twilight Emissaries story. And then with the Final Dawn, we have the quest called the Final Dawn, and that will be the conclusion to that story. So yeah, I can't actually really say anything about that one because I'd be spoiling a quest that people haven't played yet. So you know, what I will say instead is that the thing that's really important to us with Varlamore is that we want this area to feel alive. Like it wants to feel not like some of the mistakes we made with Karen, where we launched
like the originals there.
But it's more than just this main storyline. And just as we've had with the first release of Varlamore, where we had a few small quests, we're doing that again with the second release of Varlamore, and we're going to be doing it again as well this time around. We've got plenty of smaller quests as well. For example, we're planning to do a new Slayer dungeon, but we don't want to just have this new Slayer dungeon there. We're going to have a little quest to unlock it as just sort of one example of one of the quests we've got planned for the final part of Varlamore.
Any more stuff like the frog quest?
No, Cuthbert.
All the effort we put into all these other big pieces, and everyone loves the frog quest.
Oh, the frog quest. People keep saying frog quest sequel when, and terrifies me. The thought of trying to ever top the madness that was achieved with that frog quest. I don't know if it could ever be done, but I guess it also is like variety is super important. The small quests are some of the best ways to introduce that variety. Our big quests, because they're big quests, kind of naturally tend to be more towards big epic storylines because they're just that, they're big and epic. The smaller quests are often some of the place where you can really add variety, and I'm really happy so far with what we've been able to do with some of these small quests in Varlamore. The frog quest is obviously quite towards one extreme of what you might expect from a RuneScape quest, and again, going to be trying to continue that variety with a Final Dawn, with a few different quests covering a few different sort of like genres, vibes, that sort of thing.
Amazing. Very much looking forward to it. I feel like all of the quests that have been added of late have all felt like true epic old school quests. Even, you know, the Cuthbert one, as you said, it was on the far extreme end of it, but it was still very much a RuneScape quest, and that felt great.
But as much as you might like it to be, it's not all about quests. So let's talk bosses. We've just seen one mentioned in the video, and I feel like all of the bosses in Varlamore are just making it as hard to pronounce as possible. Especially for me right now, and I've got to say, the Doom of Mokhiapol, which is the first enrage boss coming to Oldschool.
Pretty good effort, actually.
Do you want to give it a go?
I mean, I could just copy what you said, but I can't remember how you pronounced it. The Doom of the Mokhiapol. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, so first enrage boss. Can you tell us more about what that is? What is an enrage boss? Why should anyone care?
So it's the very basic idea of it is that, you know, normally you go kill a boss, it dies, you collect your loot, hooray, and then you'll probably kill it again. With an enraged boss, it's a little bit different. You kill the boss, it dies, but rather than just collecting your loot and either heading off or choosing to fight it again, you instead are presented with a bit of a different choice. You can still do that. You could pick up your loot and then either, like say, leave or just fight the boss again at the same difficulty. Or you can choose to not collect your loot and instead revive the boss at a higher difficulty level and fight it again. And after
I hope there's no chip damage. Chip damage will ruin that boss.
Drop a little bit more loot because
like
it's a
slightly
harder version. And you present that same choice again and again and again and again. And you can keep going for well, as long as you want, but as long as you can might be a better way of sort of saying it. Like the enrage level will continue to increase if you want it to. Every single time you kill it, you have that option to fight that harder version, and as such, the loot will keep getting bigger and bigger. But obviously, if you die, that's it, all gone.
No monkey will be happy with this
That's sort of
one,
like the basic idea of it. You kind of I guess control the difficulty a bit, but the big thing about these bosses, it's about sort of like challenges to see how far you can go. Like obviously the loot is very important, it's always very nice.
Will be happy if it can tarmac.
Bosses like this, it almost sort of becomes more about like what enrage level can you hit. Like there's normally some sort of like
the concept of enrage?
sort of like measure of what
like the enrage phase of bosses,
like
or
how high
this
can
concept
you push
of
that?
enrage?
It sort of
What do
thing
you
becomes
mean?
really important, and yeah, we've never done anything quite like this in Oldschool before. We've had sort of like, I guess, adjacent systems of like controlling a difficulty, but this is something a little bit different, something that,
to be honest, I don't think there's
really
anything that'll make no monkey happy at the moment.
Because it's just that it's not something we've ever done before. Like variety is super important, and we've done a lot of bosses. I think quite a few of them are probably quite good, but it's important to, you know, offer something different, and that's sort of what we're going for here, something that we've not really done before.
Awesome. I really like the sound of it. Quick question before I ask the next one. Is it going to be, or do you know yet, will it be solo or group boss?
Well, I think it's probably going to be a solo boss, this one. It makes the enrage like system a bit more controllable.
No, it's not capped.
Especially with it being the first one we've ever done.
You just said it goes and goes and goes.
We're also, when looking at Varlamore, we're trying to make sure that Varlamore itself like has lots of variety of content within it. So obviously we've done the Colosseum, which was solo. We did Perilous Moons, which was kind of a weird mix solo but group at the same time.
I like how they did Perilous Moons.
We're doing
That
a
was
full
cool.
group boss that's coming out in just a couple of weeks. I won't try and pronounce that one.
Huey.
Huey. So doing this as solo again, it sort of keeps that variety between solo and group, and then also you've got variety of different styles of bosses as well.
Triple suck.
Yeah, I really love it. I think it's great to just
Yeah, I
see
think so,
different
Jaman,
mechanics
yeah.
coming to Old School, so there is something that really caters to everyone. I imagine this is going to be one of those where our higher level players can really put, you know, their skills to the test and see how far they can push themselves. But that's not the only kind of different thing that's going to be coming. You also mentioned a new fletching activity that will be coming with the Final Dawn. What can you tell us about that, and why did you choose fletching?
So we chose fletching, and I was told I wasn't allowed to swear, so we chose fletching because it's not very good.
Well said.
That's not just my opinion. We do the annual survey every year. Annual survey, obviously it's every year. We do the annual survey, and we ask people like what skills are not so good, what skills are good. We're like, yeah, we don't like rune crafting. All right, we don't like rune crafting Guardians of the Rift. Okay, we're starting to make some improvements there. And fletching is one that's sort of come up as it's not a very fun skill, and it's also not a skill we've ever really done much with, in Old School before. In fact, it's sort of getting to the point now when you look at like all the skills, it's one of the skills we've touched the least, to be honest. So it presents a really nice opportunity.
Why never boss something everyone has issues
dare I say it, actually try and make the skill a tad more fun. But also, because it's a skill we've not touched before, there's potential opportunities for like new reward space there as well. So that was sort of like what sort of made us start thinking about fletching, and also again, kind of what I was saying like about variety in Varlamore and that sort of thing. It's like looking at what fits for Varlamore as well. We've got this area in Varlamore that's.
I think fletching's a good call over crafting.
There's these. Like from a storyline side, we've got these.
Fletching. People have issues with fletching lately, trying to get like
to nature.
the magic longbow and strong for the tormented Synapse from the Greater Demons.
In the forest, it's all about for them. It's that
Firemaking, you've got Wintertop, man.
Looking after
Firemaking's
nature,
not really an argument at the moment.
Borrowing a little bit from it. It's like, okay, so we're working with wood basically. So fletching kind of makes sense here.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes of it. It's not necessarily the hardest skill to get 99 in, but it's just
deck content. Winter
that's
not
the thing. Content. Like, yeah, sure, you can.
Wintertop will forever be relevant.
Like in a certain way, like if you're looking at
crafting might be further down the road.
Old School standpoint. Okay, yeah, technically you could argue the skill is fine. There are nice slow AFK methods where you don't need to be too intense, or you can waste a lot of money and get fletching very quickly. But are you having fun? That's sort of the question. So,
yeah.
Dare I say, maybe we could try and introduce a little bit of fun to the skill.
I can't say I've ever had fun training fletching.
Not all skills have to be impactful.
For it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think so. As long as it's a good way to train them, it's beneficial. That's the main thing.
What are you and the team most looking forward to?
Fletching's 10x better than Agility. Agility has Helen's Polka, so they won't touch that for a while.
So, you're obviously asking me.
They
so
just reworked Agility.
Quest, that's a given. I would sort of say that some of the most exciting stuff is actually some of the small stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like the big content is exciting. Fletching activity, new enrage bosses are really exciting things to be coming along. But the thing about doing an area expansion, it's often the small stuff, the little bits that bring the world to life. Those smaller quests that I mentioned, doing small additions here and there. As mentioned, we're looking at a new Slayer dungeon with this quest, unlocking it.
New Slayer dungeon,
I think we did mention very briefly that we're looking at potentially doing.
Campfires are really good,
really
actually.
Done before, calling it an AFK boss, probably a better way to describe it, a low intensity boss. With like, we've got these crabs. You go kill your sand crabs, and oh no, someone's come and crashed you, and now you're having an argument with someone rather than killing the sand crabs. What if we actually
old school interaction?
What if we made our MMO actually multiplayer and actually just had it so rather than everyone fighting over sand crabs, everyone could join together and fight one sand crab, and now we can all finally be friends.
That's kind of cool.
That's one idea we've got. Sort of like this.
That chat's
it's a crab. We've made it bigger. It's got lots of HP. You fight it together. You can all have fun fighting this crab.
Never going to work. People don't have fun playing old school RuneScape. No one wants to make friends.
That could be a problem.
This came straight from Reddit, right? Like we saw the suggestion.
That'd be cool as fuck, though.
Hugo crab.
Yeah, I think there was a thread on Reddit just like can you make crabs not terrible, make them fun? And I think Mod Arcane was just like, oh, that sounds good. And we were just like, yeah, it does sound good. And the beauty of something like this is again, it's one of those small additions. It's not a huge amount of work.
Unironically cool.
Things like
I like
this
that.
in Varlamore, and it's a perfect place to be doing that sort of thing.
Okay, so moving away from crabs and AFK-ness, let's talk a little bit about the story. It's called The Final Dawn. Once this is out, is that it? Is that the end of Varlamore?
So the answer is yes and no. So
it's never easy with you, is it, Ed?
Look, so
I triggered something. Strap in, folks. We're in for a ride.
Right. So it's very important that, as much as I like doing this, it's very important that we don't every 6 months wheel me out to announce another part of Varlamore. Like, I love Varlamore. I think hopefully everyone else loves Varlamore. You know, the response we had to the first launch, absolutely incredible. Like, the next release is looking absolutely amazing. Like, there's a lot to like about Varlamore, but there will reach a point where maybe people start to go, okay, this is like the 10th time you've shown us Varlamore now. Got anything else hidden away there? So it's important that Varlamore doesn't outstay its welcome. Like, it's important that things have conclusions. So on that side, like, yes, we're very keen for this to feel like a finale in many ways. As already mentioned, we've got the Final Dawn quest. We're concluding the Twilight Emissary story.
The chairs are 15k.
We
it's
are
bullshit.
finishing off the main part of the
What are they called?
landmass. So when I say main part, like, that is sort of being very open and honest that there are other bits of Varlamore, like deep underground or like off the coast that we still want to explore in the future. But it's very important here that like this will conclude the main landmass. You'll be able to walk all the way from one side to the other without any nasty black boxes or anything else blocking you. So in that regard, yeah, it's very much a finale, and we're very keen to make sure that we do continue to deliver variety, because that is what the game is all about. Like, Varlamore's looking absolutely fantastic, but we've got other areas of the game that we want to keep, expanding to as well. We've got storylines that are unfinished. We've got areas that are still black boxes, that sort of thing. So that's why we're quite keen to sort of like put a wrapper on everything we've done on Varlamore so far, move on to other things. But, and this is why it's kind of a yes/no. On the flip side, there is nothing is ever truly finished in a certain extent. Like in the same way that I think we could all agree that like Misselin is not lacking. It's a fine place. It's got everything you need there, but we can still add new content there, and indeed we still do.
I mean, the Twitch.
Varlamore's very much going to be the same. It's going to continue to grow.
Probably deserved it.
So there will be new things coming to Varlamore. As I already mentioned, there's still some like other areas like peripheral, like some dungeons and like some stuff off the mainland that we want to do with Varlamore. Some big, some small. There's going to be new stories we want to tell there. Most notably, we did a Kingdom Divided quite a few years ago, and in that quest it was very clear, right, the next stage of this storyline is going to Varlamore. Obviously, with all of Varlamore mainland complete, we've now unlocked the ability for us to continue that storyline into Varlamore. So
waiting for them apples to fly into his hand, telegrabbing him.
While this is a finale in many ways. In others, we're gonna be continuing to add to Varlamore in all sorts.
It would be funny if he just like fucking pulled one up, like a yo-yo.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's a huge landmass. So I guess we can just probably say that it's going to be a bit of Vala less, right? Yeah.
Vala no more.
Yeah. No, Vala no.
Anyways.
Not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going to be coming.
You're not quite right. Right, just before we move on from Varlamore, one final question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh.
Rapid fire style. What are all the pieces of content coming in Varlamore the Final Dawn?
Oh, okay, so...
No pressure.
We've got the Final Dawn quest, concluding the Twilight Emissary storyline. We've got the Enrage boss. We have the...
Have we missed much? Nah.
Those are sort of like, I guess, the big selling points. On top of that, we also have a new Slayer dungeon where there'll be a quest unlocking.
We're getting something south of Menopause?
We have
Don't think so, not at the moment.
We have the AFK crab boss. We have other quests which I don't actually know, to be honest, how many there are. But I'm
not too much top up.
There'll be some.
We'll do a wrap up at the end. Also, send me your address so I can send you that mouse, please.
While we're talking about, we're not quite ready to talk about publicly yet. Like other ideas we're having of like smaller things we could put in Varlamore. So like there'll probably be a few other little additions on top of that as well.
So much to look forward to with Varlamore the Final Dawn. So thank you for joining us, Ed. Make sure to check out !Varlamore to read all there is to know about Varlamore's final expansion.
$4,300.
So, before we move on to our final reveal, we have another winner to announce for the comic book giveaway. And the winner this time is Be He Lit. Be He Lit.
That's our membership money right there,
I don't know. I'm going for the best I've got. But congratulations. You're the proud winner of the...
That's crazy, dude.
Congratulations indeed, and once again, commiserations to anyone who didn't manage to win a prize tonight. But just remember, if RNG was not on your side, then there is always the backup option of just paying for them with real life money. And you can do that through our link using !comic.
All right, everyone, it's time to reveal the final announcement of the night.
Hey,
and
man,
I hope you're
back support
ready.
is better than customer support, I guess. Good luck. Final reveal. It's the big one.
This is Mod Arcane. Take one.
Rates 4.
It's that time of year again. Get ready
Leagues.
for Leagues 5.
Leagues 5.
In what we're calling Raging Echoes.
All
Sorry, dude, could you hold still for a sec? We just need to get a reference image to turn you into an old school character.
Oh, can you make the character like all muscly?
No.
For those of you that don't know,
right.
Leagues is a temporary game mode where players start from scratch.
Private servers and
it has
leagues.
Boosted XP rates, a huge variety of tasks to complete, powerful relics to unlock, and of course, brand new rewards. Area locking is one of the most interesting things.
This is coming soon.
And we've decided to make it a
That must be
core part
here.
of Leagues going forward.
That must be Leagues, which
We
means
want to
this
build
could
on
be a
top
raid.
of Leagues, constantly refreshing it and improving it to keep it exciting. So we're going to add new content into each
this is
league
happening
rather
this year.
than rotating stuff out. There's something else. Combat Masteries is the new core of your combat power. Combat Masteries complement the relic system to give you greater control of your battle.
December, maybe.
And there's one more big difference that we're going to be introducing in Raging Echoes.
All right, and now reach for the T.
In this year's League, each new area will feature 1 or 2 enhanced bosses.
These bosses will drop a desirable, unique item that's not normally found in that area itself.
This means players will have to choose which areas to unlock wisely. Do they play it safe and go for an area they're comfortable with?
Or do they venture outwards to use the exciting new unique boss drops? It's not just the drops that change with these enhanced bosses. Each new
boss will have slightly different mechanics, so players will have to be on their toes
Okay,
if they want to get their
that's
hands on
actually
these
fucking
big
sick.
ticket items. I've not seen this item before.
That's all we're going to reveal in Raging Echoes for now.
That's actually sick.
But there'll be plenty more info soon, so keep an eye out on the official channel. Oh,
I
hey,
got a
man.
little bit of goosebumps there. Hang on,
what happened?
That's actually cool as fuck. So basically, everything's gonna have the Akakam phase, and everything's gonna drop shadows. There's gonna be new items that aren't even in RuneScape, right? That's actually sick as.
That's right, Leagues is back, and it is coming way sooner than you probably thought, being November 2024.
November.
So not a lot of time to wait at all.
That's fucking cool.
Now we're joined in the studio by the lovely Mod Arcane.
That's actually sick, man. Hell yeah.
Answer some questions regarding Leagues 5 Raging Echoes. Welcome, Mod Arcane. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm still cringing a little bit.
I'm abusing the shit out of my dick right now, beating it. I need legs so bad. Yeah, no wonder you got banned from the Twitch.
It was pretty funny. It was good. What do you think of your in-game model?
Not muscular.
You didn't get what you asked for, unfortunately. One of the major new mechanics we talked about in that video was something we're calling combat masteries. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and what that'll mean for you in Leagues?
Yeah, so in the previous Leagues, you would have obviously your tiers of relics that you unlock throughout the league, and some of them were combat, some of them were skilling. Sometimes you would have a tier that was like skilling versus combat.
Did I miss Mod Light yet? Yeah, she said that you're a freak.
So we thought we'd decide to just kind of rip out most of the combat relics from the entire system and just implement a completely separate system side by side it. So then we can have more customization, more power, more flexibility. It just gives us a lot more tools to work with and generally gets the players a lot more to
so like skill trees for each combat style. That's cool.
Combat masteries, enhanced bosses. I think there's a link between the two of them to some degree. Maybe you can explain a little bit more, but let's just start off with what are enhanced bosses? What was the thought process behind them, and what can players expect from actually going up against these?
Yeah, so, sorry, my throat is really bad. Sorry about that, chat. So,
yeah, grow up, mate.
We really like the area system. However, there's a fundamental problem where if Desert, Zaya, Asgarnia are just the best areas because they've got the most content, they've got the most impactful drops, people are just going to kind of pick the same areas time and time again, and that's just going to start feeling really repetitive. So this came from a desire of really trying to freshen that up and make it so players are a bit more incentivized to pick different areas. So the bosses are coming in and they're going to have like interesting new mechanics, and they'll be a little bit harder, matching more of like the league's power and everything, since in a league you are crazy powerful. But then we also wanted to add an extra incentive, like why you're actually killing these, right? So each boss is going to drop something really powerful and quite unique to it, which might actually sway you to pick a certain area over another. So maybe you don't want to pick desert. Maybe the best mage weapon isn't actually in the desert anymore, for example.
Oh, interesting.
Do you think essentially like people's experience is going to be way different, despite the fact we've got area locking still? It's going to be a different experience fundamentally.
That's hopefully the goal, yeah. So we're hoping to make it so picking like your ranged areas, it might have been fairly clear-cut last time. Now that decision is going to be a lot harder and hopefully a lot more interesting and generally get you to play the game in a different way.
It sounds very interesting already. With these new items that are coming in, are they going to be brand new items that have never been seen in Old School before, or are they enhanced versions of existing items?
Yeah, completely new. So some of them might be similar to things you've seen in game, but some of them might be completely wild and like
dual wield dragon skins.
When you can create a weapon without having to pull it, you can be creative, and you don't have to worry about breaking the game in any way.
No, I guess especially when you already have that wild power fantasy that Leagues brings along with it anyway, you can really be imaginative and creative on what kind of items you actually add in.
Still going to be 2 OP?
I mean, speaking of that power fantasy, relics are a huge part of that.
Yeah.
You've already mentioned the combat relics are mostly changed into the combat masteries. Can we expect new relics? Is that going to be a big difference this time?
We'll be going over every single tier of relics and just completely rehashing them. There'll be some favorites you might see from prior relics and everything, but we'll be trying to make every tier feel like a different choice compared to prior ones. More so than what Trailblazer Reloaded did compared to the original Trailblazer.
Any sneak peeks?
Definitely not. I think Mod Hootie would kill me if I started leaking on here
he's got that social fan on lock, I imagine, already. Okay, all right. No reveals yet, but maybe you can confirm one thing, run energy.
Yeah, run energy will definitely be infinite still.
Okay, good.
I can't imagine many leagues, if any,
just not in the main game still for some fucking reason.
Good, I never want to be known as a walker ever again. That was the most regretful relic choice I'd ever made, and I'm still not over it, to be honest. Okay, what has been the most fun part so far for you to have worked on Leagues?
So this is my second league that I've worked on now, and there's something just quite therapeutic about just getting a bunch of relics and just kind of bashing through them. They're quite satisfying to program. You see a lot of different aspects of the code base, since some relics you're literally plugging into hundreds of places.
Hell yeah.
So it's almost like a nostalgic like investigatory adventure going into the code base and looking at all this multiple decades of old code and like either rewriting it, tidying it all up, or just seeing how it was done.
Yellow and red codes can only be used inside TOA.
I'm actually curious, sorry, this is completely off plan, but when you were going through the old code, you mentioned there, it could be decades old that's been written, and you might have to rewrite it. When you actually rewrite that, is that providing benefits then to the main game as well? Would it be updated code, or is it specific just for the league?
So it would be to the main game as well. We're very careful to try not have any like behavior changes go through or anything like that, but sometimes this means we can centralize a bunch of code, which then means other things in the future are a lot more feasible to do.
Okay.
So if we did want to introduce, for example, some sort of smithing update, like smithing catalysts were a good example.
Smithing update, boys, it's coming.
Probably would have been a lot harder before Leagues 2 came around and centralized all that code. So there is a lot of benefits to do leak over to the main game.
That's actually awesome to hear. Like, I think one of the things that we've seen in the past, it was long ago now because players absolutely love League, but when it was first introduced, there was a lot of commentary around taking away like time from the main game, but actually it's a benefit now because it's helping improve the overall code base, which is really cool to see. Anyway, sorry, thank you, Francis.
This league idea sounds fucking sick, dude.
Rewards have always been a big part of it.
5th of November, I believe, league starts.
In past
November
leagues.
5th. No, just in November, sorry. It's the 5th league.
Front?
Yeah, so we've already got like a preliminary list that we're going to be blogging up shortly-ish. I don't know what the timeline actually is. And then we have some extra ideas in case players don't really like the original list. One of the ideas that I've seen that I really do like is a Venator bow reskin. Venator bow is from one of my projects, Secrets of the North, Phantom Muspa. I really like that project, really like that boss, but the weapon I think is just really cool, and I think it's actually grown in popularity quite a lot since launch, especially in Slayer.
Cannon backpack.
Like, it's really popular.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
In Slayer. So getting a reclone for that I think would be quite cool. We'll see obviously what players think from that, but we've got a lot of other ones like the outfits and the banners are the pretty basic ones, and we've got teleport animations. I think we're proposing another death animation as well, since we can do some really cool ones there. And players love to die and see that animation over and over again, right? So this is a good fit.
Amazing. Sounds brilliant. Well, I think I'm all out of questions, to be honest. I'm just extremely excited. I'm definitely going to be playing in the league. I always end up jumping in, even if it's just for the first few weeks, because that power fantasy is just unmatched. It's so insane to just go through and absolutely blast content that I wouldn't normally do at that level. But yeah, thank you so much, Modarcane. Is there anything that you want to wrap up with before we look at the roadmap?
I could talk a lot about it. How long do I have? But I think one other thing I kind of wanted to mention is, along with like the echo bosses coming in with the new drops, they'll enforce you, or not enforce you, but encourage you to pick different areas. We're also making some other changes. So another example is we're actually looking at making a change where the 3 mega rare weapons that you can get, so Scythe of Eter, Shadow of Tumakan, and Twisted Bow, we're actually making those available from all 3 raids.
Ooh,
which really does change up like how you pick the areas. Like if you really want to go mage, you feel kind of shoehorned into going desert, even though you might not really want to go desert. And whilst we don't want to just do that throughout the entire game, now if you really want to do TOB, but you do want to do a mage build, it feels a lot more feasible.
I'll show that after.
So it opens up the layout a bit there.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess the way to look at it is that the Raging Echoes, even with the area locks or region locks, it's less so about what loot to go for and more about what content you're going to engage in that you find the most enjoyable. And you'll be pretty much able to build almost anything from any region that you pick. You're just going to go for the ones that you actually prefer, as opposed to feeling what has been in the past more forced to go into them.
There'll definitely still be more like optimal areas, but when something is important as like a Twisted Bow versus a Scythe of Eter or something like that, they're like build-defining items. You can't really debate giving them up very easily. This just opens up that flexibility a bit, but if you still want to get things like Defenders and occult necklaces, you're still going to have to go to those certain areas, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's awesome to hear. I think that's a really cool idea.
It's a really nice change. We want to make the area system better at the end of the day, and this we think is something that does that. Any areas you're definitely choosing?
Honestly, I really want to pick Varlamore, just because that area is surprisingly dense. Like, it's kind of flown under my radar a little bit, but like when I was going through and putting tasks in for Varlamore, there's actually so much there. It's actually kind of crazy. So doing that in like a league's context, when obviously I've not done that in prior leagues, will actually be just really refreshing.
And the Rising Darkness will be available too, because it comes out in 2 weeks, the league then in November. So that's awesome, actually. There's a whole new host of tasks to complete that never existed before.
Really competitive area.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so
expansion
much,
too.
Arcane, for joining us. Extremely excited. Chat seems to be very happy as well. Let's take a look at what we've revealed tonight and go through the roadmap.
By the way, community servers will be rented. You will have to pay for them.
So we touched on Varlamore, the Rising Darkness. It's the second area expansion coming in
Zanaris
September on the 25th to be exact. That introduces, obviously, the new island, the new herblore activity. We have the new group boss, as well as a bunch of new quests.
Got Curse of Arrav, then coming in winter 2024.
The Clash Log update is sick. That's
quest.
cool.
And takes us one step closer to that one that we've not mentioned about in the future.
Yeah, then leading into that, we have Wrathmore, the worm boss, coming in November 2024. This spawns across the wilderness, bringing in a whole bunch of
content
new rewards.
You have to pay to use Project Zanaris servers.
With the participation
you have to pay to rent
Rewards
them.
are still yet to be determined.
So I stand by my point
something
that
along the lines of item syncs,
it's gonna be a bit of an
PvP only kind of like power. It's the type of content that we're really trying to aim for being just for those who are engaged and interested in PvP, and we'll be looking at polling all of those rewards.
So I'm just turning the quality up for a sec.
Leagues 5, Raging Echoes, just like we've just been talking about. It's our seasonal game mode. You're going to fight enhanced bosses designed to be fought with all the League's power-ups and everything. It's going to be really interesting. Combat masteries alongside relics. It's going to feel fresh. It's going to feel different. You're going to make completely different area choices.
HTOS, yes, HTOS is a third-party client.
And then coming in early 2025, January, February kind of time, we have a whole bunch of GameJam updates coming out, which will be the collection log update by Mod Husky, showing off a whole load of interface improvements as well as new features that can help you track your progression. In addition to that, there's just general mini menu improvements. You saw Mod Kieran talk about the what they call the mini menu itself that allows you to have better accessibility to teleports on jewelry as well as the max cape, which is absolutely insane.
Well, I'll let them wrap this up, then I'll give you my thoughts.
Refresh. I can't remember exactly what the expeditious something, Anyway, that looks awesome. Being able to lock inventory slots, much easier in terms of banking, regearing, all that kind of stuff. And then lastly, a really cool update around player-owned house customization. There's still a whole load more as well coming from GameJam that we'll be getting around to once the roadmap allows us to.
And in spring 2025, we'll be finishing our set of giant bosses. You've got Obor, you've got Briarfighter, and now we're going to be bringing you a fire and ice giant boss encounter called the Royal Titans. It'll be aimed towards the upper end of mid-game, sort of after you've got your fire cape sort of range, and you'll fight them in the Asgarnia Ice Dungeon. Early days for this, so expect details in the near future, and we'll start to talk about it some more.
And just a reminder, no keys are going to be required to fight them, so a little bit of a change up would be a little bit more accessible than the previous giant bosses have been. Then we have Varlamore, the Final Dawn, wrapping up this epic continuation of the Varlamore storyline. Mod Ed himself said that yes, whilst it may be the final dawn for Varlamore overall, you can still expect more content to be coming out in the future.
And then got me excited. This is the Winter Summit.
the way to wrap up the storyline
next time, boys.
So far. With that becomes a brand new boss solo encounter that has enrage mechanics. So if you're really looking to push your ability to the max,
I like that they didn't touch on sailing during this.
That's coming in spring.
That was a big move by them.
In addition, there are 2 new areas to explore,
they had it here,
as well
but they
as
didn't do a
fletching
preview
activity, a new Slayer dungeon, and multiple quests. And then there are things even beyond that as well. Kieran, if you want to quickly touch on the first part.
Yep, obviously we've not really talked much about sailing tonight. It's a humongous topic. There's a whole amount to talk about with it. Obviously, expect various blogs in the future. It's made awesome progress. We've been doing a lot of in-house player testing, and that's been a really, really cool experience for us.
Yeah, really coming together now. There's been a lot of work going into making sure that navigation and the core fundamentals are functional. So then once that's out of the way, which is very close to being done now, we can just literally sail ahead with development and start showcasing all of the amazing things that can come with that. There is so much potential that we have yet to explore with you, the player base, and that's what we're really looking forward to being able to do. But in terms of other things that we want to explore with yourselves as well, we have the HD and API update. This is obviously looking at a complete refresh of the game itself. Standard detail will still be available, so if you don't want to be playing in HD, you don't have to be. But it brings across a whole host of improvements to things like lighting. We talked about world map streaming, so getting rid of loading lines, those black boxes. The areas around will be fully covered now. Being able to bring in atmospheric fog to make the areas just seem awesome. It looks fantastic. Even things like water textures as well being revamped. And then the API itself, the ability for players to be able to make plugins for the official client moving forward. Already in early stages of development, we've been working closely with plugin developers, and we hope that when it's ready to release, we'll actually have a whole list of really popular plugins that you actually use at the moment on the likes of RuneLite ready for you to be able to use. They'll also be available on mobile, which is insane.
Can we wrap this shit up? Like, do we need to listen to the summary, or can I give my conclusion on the whole thing? What do you guys think? Do we need to hear this?
Fresh UI as well.
This bullshit.
There's really a lot there.
Yeah, there is.
Mad. And Project Zanaris, a completely massive piece of work here. We're going to give you the ability to create your own community servers. You make the rules.
So filler, all right, cool. Let's talk about what we've actually seen today. All right, and what I'll do is I'm going to upload this to YouTube, just my direct conclusion, and then I'm going to also re-upload the entire stream, basically, of us reacting and watching it for the past 2 hours. So if you do want to go back and watch what happened, you can watch the whole thing. But this is just a short and sweet wrap-up of the entire Summer Summit for 2024, which goes from today, well, the 25th of September, and ends in late spring 2025. So this is what Jagex has announced. We'll start off with my overall feelings of this. I think out of 10 is probably like a soft 7, maybe, I think. Overall, out of 10, like a soft to mid 7. I'm going to give it that. 7 bananas out of 10. 6.9, if you will. Yep. So, I'm glad that there was... I knew there wasn't going to be a raid announcement. I kind of like that there was no raid announcement. Although it would have been nice to see it in the Beyond section down here. For them to at least start planning it. I feel like maybe they want to toy with the idea of leagues and private servers a bit more to get some better ideas for a raid, which I guess is fine. Varlamore Part 2 being with the Rising Darkness coming in 3 weeks, I think this is good. This is a fat fucking tick. Let me give it some more color. Let's give it a nice green. Alright, this is a fat tick from me. This is good. The Curse of Arrav, I have no idea what this is. I'm sure you guys know about this quest, but that's cool as well. The Rathmore Worm boss is basically a PvP dedicated boss designed for PvPers. This is not mandatory. There is nothing from this boss that you can gain a benefit from, or that you're going to lose out on in the main game if you don't PvP. So this is purely just to give love to the wilderness and the PvPers in general. And I overall think this is a good idea. And now if you are a no voter on PvP content and PvP polls, I'll be honest with you, voting yes on content like this is actually a big dub for everyone, because if you do go for your Void Waker grind or other aspects in the wilderness, this is more content for people to be distracted from, to not be attacking you with. Now, it will also bring weapons to the game to help kill you with as well, but I really think overall, the more life they breathe into the wilderness, the better overall for the game at the end of the day. Not going to be silenced by the paid actor voting no. That's totally fine, Hacksaw. This is a multi and a single way boss too, so you can always dabble in it, and I always like to encourage PvP activity. I like to encourage people to anti-PK, even if you're not big on PvP. Anti-PKing is more money per hour in the wilderness than anything else PVM related. So I personally am a fan of that. I do like PvP personally, so I'll be voting yes on that, and I encourage you to consider voting yes, provided the rewards are nice anyway, because if there's more people being distracted, there's more people, like, PKs are going to want to go after people actually fighting this boss more than bots in Cavern at the end of the day, right? Never did PvP, but I'd try it. No harm in trying it at the end of the day. I'm like, jump in LMS and practice. There's nothing to lose in LMS but time. Now, Leagues 4. I unironically got goosebumps watching this, them announcing this. I didn't think I would over a League announcement, but I like the way that they are not recycling every idea. Again, I think this is a cool League idea. This could potentially be the best League since Leagues 2. Leagues 2 was the best League we had. What was that? Trailblazer, I think it was called? That was like the best fucking League we had. Leagues 3 was dog shit. Leagues 4 was great, but it just didn't have, it was just revisiting Leagues 2, you know? Leagues 2 was like the hype league, in my opinion. There's going to be new relics they're going to revisit, plus also bring some favorite relics back. But this combat mastery system, from what that tells me, in my mind, that makes me think that we're going to have everyone... Because the problem with previous leagues was that you'd have melee, range, and then mage, right? And you just basically spec'd into one, and then that was your primary melee style, or combat style. The other two were irrelevant. So like if you went mage, you were great at mage, but then like when you were doing all melee hand and range, it was just boring dog shit, right? What I think this means is that we're going to have skill trees that you can spec into for each one. So you have all three combat styles, but you can only choose one path per style, right? That's what I'm getting from that, which would be far more beneficial for everyone to take advantage of every combat triangle, right? Rather than only one combat style. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think I see at least. Poll up, vote on stream. Vote what? What is there to vote? Like that's what I'm taking away from that, which I think is a great idea. Enhancing bosses, that way there are no dead areas. Fremenic might actually be worth going to for once, which would be cool. And it's a seasonal game mode, so big W. Oh, there's a poll up in game ready. Oh, I'll figure that out later. The collection log, I think this is a big win. I think collection log is a win. Been looking forward to this update. It looks like they're only half doing it. They're not going to do the bingo stuff yet, but they are working on that, at least from what they've said. Collection log update, mini menu improvements, bank deposit refreshes. This is just big player improvement, UI improvement, quality of life shit that I'm looking forward to. That's just going to make the game so much more convenient. Kind of down for the player and house update. Yeah, like that's going to be massive for sure. Now we've got giant bosses. Another tick. I mean, I'm ticking a lot of things here for a soft 7 out of 10, I'll be honest with you. Full summary blog, brother. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm doing my own summary blog, dude. Giant bosses. So, no keys is massive for these giant bosses. It's going to be a new dungeon. There's going to be lore behind it, which I guess some of you might give a shit about. New rewards. 2 giant bosses, Fire and Ice, which wraps it up. They're not going to be free-to-play bosses by the sounds of it, which sit the fuck down. But no keys to enter these bosses and to fight these bosses is big. Like, 'cause that's the problem with Obor and Briarfighter, right? So, giant bosses, that's cool. That's big. I like that. And then the final Varlamore update also sounds great. It really does. I like the idea of this new, what's it called? The Enrage boss thing. I like the sound of that. This giant sand crab boss, new fletching activity, new Slayer dungeon. Like, it's, for me as a content creator, it's just more shit for me to fucking just go and live stream and just pretend I don't know what I'm doing and interact with you guys, right? And it's just free content. It's more guides for you guys as well. It's free entertainment. Why the hell not, you know? So this is all big. The crab boss is going to be pretty funny. I like that. In the Beyond, they didn't talk about sailing for more than like 2 minutes collectively through the entire 2-hour segment. So that was a big tick for everyone. I'm glad they didn't sit there trying to sell sailing to people, because that would have just been a shit show. And they can't even sell it to us in like 6 blogs, I think, that they posted now. So that's big. HD and API coming. Looks awesome. This is great. Love this. Big improvements. And then I was vocal about this. I personally am not a fan of Project Zanaris. Now, there's multiple reasons behind this. Reason number one, they did like a skit throughout the stream where it was like Jimmy and 8sat interviewing people like it was Shark Tank, interviewing different content creators. And it went on for about 5 to 8 minutes, and it was boring, cringe, annoying, not funny. It dragged on. It didn't need to be as long as it was. I feel like they could have done a better job announcing it, presenting it. Not Jimmy's best work. So that was kind of shit. Now, the idea of community service is great. However, they have confirmed here on their website that you will be paying to rent the servers. They're working on a full cost breakdown. Different server sizes will have varying price points. There will be a charge for players looking to rent the servers, but we intend to keep the cost in line with industry standards for server rentals. So, yeah, look, some people are going to pay for that shit. A lot of you are not going to pay to rent. Now, someone rents it and you can play. You play for free, which is a big selling point. But I don't know how often and how long people are going to be renting these servers from. This means you've got to rely on someone to upkeep a cost on a server you enjoy to be able to play it, or you're going to be paying for a server that no one's going to be playing with you. That's going to really limit the amount of people that are playing the game, or playing these servers. These servers are going to be great for content creators, great for fun little events, great for clan events. It's going to be great for just custom inclusive content, right? But at the end of the day, I personally think within 6 to 12 months, there's not going to be a whole lot of these servers, and most people are going to be back on the main game because, like I said, no one wants to pull a T-bow on a custom server at the end of the day, right? They just don't want to. And a lot of people are saying, well, look at Roblox, how successful Roblox is with custom servers. Roblox and the base game of Roblox versus RuneScape, Old School RuneScape, and the base game of Old School RuneScape are completely different. Roblox relies on custom servers to stay alive. Old School RuneScape is alive, bigger and better than it's ever been. It doesn't need custom servers to keep itself alive. I think these will eventually die off. KINGCONDOR server, and everyone that spawns can't read anything. That's it. How much to read a server? It'll vary depending on sizes. I think this will not be as successful as people say it is, and it won't ruin Old School RuneScape. So Project Zanaris coming to the game won't be bad. It won't ruin Old School RuneScape, but it will not be as big and as loved as people are saying it is. It's going to have nostalgic hype, that's it. Say that there's a bunch of custom servers already that do well for themselves. In Old School RuneScape, you mean private servers? Yeah, most people on private servers in Old School RuneScape private servers, the majority of them are banned from Old School RuneScape for botting or real trading, or are profiting off of it. Like a lot of private Old School RuneScape private servers aren't like people trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle. No. Might be a stain more than a game killer. It won't kill the game at all. No, there will be very minimal negative impact from Project Zanaris on Old School RuneScape. There'll probably be no negative impact in comparison to positive servers, but positive impact. I just don't think I feel like there's better things to be announcing. You know, it wasn't very hype, and the way they sold it was very dog shit. Pro servers exist and paid money for those, yeah. But there's a reason that people don't play private servers as much as they play Old School RuneScape. You know. Kind of devalues demo mode and leagues, I think. Well, there's a reason why you play leagues and you get bored of it. How many people play leagues and play the entire way to the end, having as much fun as possible? This one might be a little different because of the combat mastery system, but every league I've played, I'll play for like two to 3 weeks. Once I reach my highest tier, and then especially when you start going dry on RNG with boosted drop rates, yeah, it's time to go back to the main game. I've done everything. I've got the points I want. Like, you do it for the points that you want from the shop, and then you move on back to the main game, you know? You already know you're going to have some creator charging their community to be on the server. Yeah, anyone charging money to be on the server will be banned. They have stated on the website that the RuneScape rules carry over to the private servers, to the community servers. So that won't be happening. Leagues actually has relevance in the main game. It does, absolutely, yes. Not being able to play on your main while playing League is one of the biggest gripes. At least the leagues can give you points in the main game. Private servers won't. Servers used by death matches. I don't think that real trading laws are going to carry over, so they shouldn't do. I think right now it's just being basic stuff. It isn't going to do well. Give it time. Custom stuff being allowed. People can make profit. It will be interesting. You won't be able to make a profit. There's no real trading. There's no trading between servers. They've announced that on the website, right? They'll be used for, the servers will be used for probably attempts at malicious content, but also it's mostly just going to be content creator stuff. People will be back on the main game. It just won't happen, man. I don't see it happening. But more importantly, while we're all here as well, the main reason I gave this a 7 out of 10 was because I was kind of hoping for some more. I guess what I wanted from Jagex wasn't what showed up. So it's just a personal, I guess, downpour. I've been waiting for this vampire fucking quest line for so long. Leagues being in the middle here, I actually was really happy about. I'm glad that they're ready to push that. That was a nice surprise. This not being a raid or a league announcement was a little bit of a letdown because I'm not a big fan of the Project Zanaris. The giant boss was a surprise, but a welcome one. I just feel like, I don't know. While I liked the majority of it, it wasn't anything super like, oh my god, wow. Leagues 5 was the biggest, like, hair-raising moment for me. But while apparently there's a poll, where the hell is the nearest poll station in-game? Let's do this poll as well while we're here. There's a new poll which we may as well throw in here. Vote now, active poll. So let's do this as well while we're here. Is there anything about the new Dragon Boss? They just said it's coming with the Varlamore Part 2 on the 25th of September. All right, let's have a look. The Summer Summit. Should we add the Final Dawn quest as part of Varlamore the Final Dawn? Which one is that? Varlamore Final Dawn at the end there? Yes, we'll do that quickly. Yes. Should we add the new Doom of the Mockhiotl? Margarita. New PVM boss as part of the Varlamore Final Dawn. What the fuck? What? Yes, whatever. I like that. Intensity Long Tail. Intensity Crab Boss. Yes. Slayer Dungeon. Yes. Fletching Activity. Yes. Wilderness Boss in the game. Yeah, I'm voting yes on the Wilderness Boss. Collection Log System. Yes. Collection Log Summary Interface. Yes. Should we do ranks? Yes, absolutely. Sure. Rank, should we be able to add the cosmetic offhand? Yep, absolutely. Should there be collection log high scores? Sure. Should we allow Iron, Hardcore, and Ultimate Iron accounts to use certain whitelisted items to fill collection log slots that they acquired prior to December 2018? These would be tradable items that were on the log from launch. So what that means is if you have a Dragon Warhammer pre-2018 on an Ironman, should you have to get another one? There's no other way to have gotten a Dragon Warhammer. So look, I don't have an Ironman pre-2018. I think voting no is griefing. Okay, I know everyone's saying voting no, but the reality is voting no is literally griefing, right? That is a fact. And I kind of want to vote no because of that as well. Like, so yeah, we're griefing. Fuck the Iron Man, dude. Yeah, but like, realistically, you should be voting yes. But yeah, vote no for griefing. Look, Dragon Warhammer's 1 in 3,000 now anyway. Who cares? But that's what that's basically saying. There's no other way to have the item on your account at the end of the day. But yeah, we're griefing. Should we add sub-menus to the game as described in the blog? This will let you select options for actions like rub on jewelry without needing to open a dialog box. Yes. Oh, sorry, yes. Should we update the bank deposit interface? Yes. Should we add option to lock inventory slots as described? Yes. Player and house customization? Yes. Should we add Curse of Arrav to a remake? Yeah, sure. I'm down for new quests. That's cool. Should we add the zombie helmet as a reward from some new high-level armored zombies? I want to know what the zombie helmet is. I know they mentioned it briefly, but like, give me something. Give me something. What's it called? Curse of Arrav? Zombie helmet, 50 strength and defense to equip. It sits between the Dwarven helmet and the Inquisitor's Great Helmet as a crush focus head slot. You'll need to repair. Okay, so it's completely fucking useless. Sure, I don't care. Should we add new giant bosses? Yes. Notice how they don't mention Project Zanaris. Or anything leagues. Fair enough. Look, I think vote 12 if you want to grief Iron Man. Vote no for 12 and vote yes for everyone else. That's what I'm doing. And we submit it. Grief the Iron Man. Fuck it. Vote yes, vote no on 12, big gay. Too late, we've griefed. So good night everyone, thank you very much for coming by. If you haven't hit the subscribe button down below, I'd greatly appreciate it while you're here. And I will see you all in tomorrow's live stream. Good night. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy, look at him, goddamn! Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge! You got a big boy.